Yeah.
Okay, all right, I'm gonna open the meeting. Chief Gamache, I know you've got places to go, so
Yep.
if you wanna start us off. Do you guys have a bet riding on who's gonna go first?
Well, I told him it was a little long-winded, only they call you first. Here I am. He's gonna sit through it, he likes it.
That's right.
Oh, we got Christmas trees today, thank you, very nice.
Cool.
Well, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
342 emergency incidents to date,
Whoa.
noteworthy incidents. We assisted police in a New Freedom search a couple of weeks ago, search and rescue, we were probably out there 4 or 5 hours, looking for somebody who walked away that was a danger to himself. Brought the UTV out there, it was kind of like a long afternoon. Serious accident on Shaker Road about 2 weeks ago on a Sunday morning. A young man was my assumption was going faster than 30 miles an hour and hit a tree and got ejected to the windshield and suffered serious injuries. So it was just a deal without him.
Jeez.
Fires, we've been to Bosco twice, Gilmanton once, and Northfield once for their structure fires, and knowing that I'm happy when they call that we go, because not if, when we have a fire, they're going to be reciprocating and coming out of time. So it's important that we get out there when we call for it.
Yeah,
We had a propane leak at New Freedom during a windstorm. Tree came down, wire across the propane tank, outside propane tank. 3 in the morning, had to evacuate the campus to another building.
Chief, didn't this happen not
Yeah,
that long
yeah,
ago?
But I wasn't at the last meeting, so I just kind of.
Oh, okay, I just wanted to make sure it didn't happen twice, okay.
Yeah, and no injuries, but we had an issue with Eversource's response. It was about 3 hours from the time they got called, so they responded, so going back and forth with Eversource. Coincidentally, they came in today with their training crew and their liaison for the area, exchanged contact information, got on the same page, and there's really nothing we could have done different because there was no lives, there was no lives at risk, basically, per se,
Okay.
other than the responders. So we could have expedited it, basically, with the information that we got today, if we applied that. So really good information we given today. Spent a couple hours with me this morning and going over a few things. So,
Well, timing being everything, good thing you got there, you were there at the same time.
yeah,
Good.
yeah. So under fire prevention, we've been to that address underneath the first bullet 3 separate times for the gentleman burning. And we told him several times that he needs to have a permit and he can't burn construction debris, and he continues to do so. So our 3rd time we went there, we issued a written warning to him, and then the next time we go, it'll be a fine, it'll be a monetary fine. So hopefully he complies. I exchanged contact information. Any questions, need a permit, just call. And you can't burn this, and it wasn't overly receptive, but I kind of half expect to go back there again and that amount to a fine. But we're going to do our job and protect the other people in the area and make sure they're not harmed by what he's doing.
Thank you.
And the self-storage, we're continuing to have issues with them. 10 responses so far in 2025. I'm working with them to rectify it. They're saying all the right things, but what they're saying and what they're doing is not matching up. So at the end of the calendar year, I'm going to be populating our responses and following the false alarm ordinance that we were a few years ago and sending them to.
All right, thank you.
We have 1 applicant under consideration for new members, so yay.
Very good.
We're considering that person. He's going through the background checks as we speak. The Loudon EMS contract that we talked about several months ago to cover the eastern part of town on our automatic response. We've been going back and forth. The contract is ready to be signed. And Kenny worked with me on that, along with Chief Blanchett and his staff from Loudon. So that will take effective January 1st. I know you did give me the okay to pursue that, and now it's basically the I's have been dotted, the T's have been crossed, signing the contract and moving forward with that. So, do I need approval again, or
I don't think so, do you? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you sketched everything out for us, unless anybody has questions at this point.
We still approve, I still approve, let's put it that way, I can't say
Yeah.
we, not the royal we.
Chief and I have looked at it, we sent draft over to them, they sent it back with a few edits, we went over it today, everything looks
Yeah,
good.
if you're satisfied, I think.
Yeah.
So it'll be effective January first, and we did burn a bridge in Belmont, we still have a great relationship with them, we're gonna continue having a great relationship with them, I just think we train with Loudon, we wanna see dispatch frequency, I think it only makes sense.
Okay.
To kind of have that as first response to the town.
Yep.
I received an update on the new engine, they're starting to build our engine, first week in January, with an expected completion date of May. That puts it in town right around June, so, after, about a month after completion. So, working with them to tweak a few things here and there. I used some year-end of the money to buy the tools and equipment, so I don't have to touch bond money for that.
Alright.
Things are looking good with that, and I'll keep you updated. The local emergency operations plan that the feds basically require to be updated every 5 years. The last one was done in Canterbury in 2012. Something I identified right when I took over, but it was kind of like there was other things that took priority that needed to be done that way. If you don't have an updated local emergency operations plan, we call it an LEOP. It affects your ability to receive grants in the future and receive assistance during times when the town needs it. Maybe catastrophe, a townwide power outage, or whatever resources from the state, so it would affect us that. So it's in the town's best interest that we update that and keep updating that every 5 years. Ken and I worked on as far as funding goes, Ken and I worked on our grant, so the grant's a 50% match from the town. And I had money in my budget this year to pay the other half, so we're not going to be giving the town for any money for that. And it's emergency operations plan encompasses all departments, so the police, the highway, the schools, the library, the town offices are all going to be, they'll all be involved in the process.
Great.
This will be done before summer.
Yeah.
And again, that needs to be done every 5 years, so. Attended the CO Summit a couple of weeks ago. It was a great refresher down at the Fire Academy. And next month's newsletter, I touched on CO, Beth.
Thank you.
Sent it today, so carbon monoxide. On Thursday, I have a meeting in Laconia about large animal rescue. So many departments amongst us that have different tools and capabilities. So we're going to put together a sheet on who has what. Because it's unrealistic for one department to buy all the tools and equipment that we need to lift a horse or a large animal up, like we have several times in the last couple of years in town here. So I have that meeting on Thursday, and it'd be nice to have those. I kind of know off the top of my head who has what, but it'd be nice to finally put everything on paper and have everything together. And Concord Dispatch is upgrading their radio system, so it means that our 2-year-old radios are going to have to be reprogrammed within the next couple of months. So there's another thing that we're going to put on our list to get done. But we'll be working on that. The end user, the people that see our services, won't notice anything different than that. Just the people on our radios.
Yeah.
That's all I have. Any questions?
That's a lot, thank you.
Yeah.
That's all you have, that's a lot.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
Alright, yes, thank you.
Want to talk about that meeting we had Friday with the county on benefit rescue?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait until later on. I don't.
Does it
I
go
think
with,
the chief, I talked to the chief about it a little bit today. He doesn't have to be here.
Okay.
We'll
Why
wait
don't
until
we,
later on.
why don't we do that?
Okay.
Yeah. Chief Karate, come on down.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
thank you. So I'll get a Christmas present. I'm going to.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, so in the last month, we had 12 incidents, 3 arrests, 3 accidents, 31 citations, 327 calls for service. State police assisted us with 4 calls. 2 officers completed sexual assault investigation training, and 1 officer completed electrical pathogen training.
Oh,
We were short an officer for 1 week. Officer Dumas was called away with the Army for a week for training. It was mandatory for Virginia. There's a good chance that either just myself or him and myself will be gone probably in February for a week. It's basically a nationwide mandate on National Guard, military police to all have the same training for emergency responses to like riots and stuff like that. That's not set in stone yet.
Yeah.
So you might know, I'll let you guys know.
Okay.
How do we get covered with two of you away?
We'll figure it out. It would be Jordan, state police.
Okay,
We won't have a third officer by then.
okay.
And I think it's just Monday through Friday, so I would come in on the weekend, so Jordan can work during the week, Mike can come in on the weekend. So we figure it out.
Okay. I figured you had a plan.
I do.
Thank you. And how calls for service, is that kind of
It's
steady?
been cold, so yeah, that's normal. The arrest, because of the arrest, like one was on a Saturday at 10:30 in the morning in Pee Wee, that tied Jordan on his whole shift. So he got one call that day because it was down for the whole day.
Yep.
And then you get a Pee Wee, that's all. It's gonna take you 8 hours between the arrest, tow, all the work with the arrest, then the report. So
Yeah.
unfortunately, I pulled him off the road for his whole shift.
Hmm.
So that's, again, this time of year, 300 to 400 calls for service in a month is about average.
Okay, thank you. Anything else we need to know about that stands out?
We got some training and planning in the new year as we reset. Sorry, fresh.
All right,
Great, thanks.
Any questions?
no questions. All right,
Any new people applying?
No.
Okay,
Hey, that.
well, not okay, but okay. Thanks, chief.
Sam or Rachel, who wants to go next? I'll let you guys. All right,
I don't have any phone service, so I haven't been able to call.
Thank you.
Huckleberry.
it's out of the, opens.
Oh, jeez.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Good
Hey, Rachel.
evening. Hello. Again, great news to report from the library. Again, thank you for collaborating. Mary and Al are the most wonderful people to work with. Mary and I have been working on end of year reconciliation and just making sure all the bills are paid and that at the end of year, on December 31st, Mary and I always celebrate the new year with the check writing. So
Oh,
that's when the library writes the second check. So I can't, I know I say this over and over, but Mary and Cal are invaluable to our success. So not only is it closing out our budget for the end of the year, but it's also our year-end statistics, which, as you know, over the last few weeks, you've had a lot of library statistics. That comes from these end-of-year reports. So everything in our collection, all of our programming, all of our numbers have to be compiled. So I do that on a local level, but also, again, as president of the New Hampshire Library Association, do that on the state level. We're happy that we are processing 110 new patrons. That's 62 households. So if you think about that, that's tremendous growth. So that is not only renters, but that's new construction, that's
110 for the year.
yeah, and that's amazing. So we're so thrilled about that because when people move into Canterbury, they know our reputation as a library, and it's one of the first. It's one of the first stops that they make when they come to town. So for that, are you okay? Is he okay?
Yeah, he's here to practice.
Okay. Sorry. Kid. Okay. We celebrated Polar Express with our usual success of 40 plus children and their families. It was under fire code, but it's a huge event. This event gets more gratitude from the town than any of our others because it's magical. It's a part of families' Christmas traditions. It's a joy to do. It's funded 100% by Friends of Elkins Public Library, as with most of our other programs. And so that always really feels good. as does the Christmas, story time with Mrs. Claus, which is coming up on Thursday at 10. And that usually brings about 50 kids and their families.
Ooh.
So very well attended and again appreciated by the town. So we'll just keep on doing the good work. Our 2026 program is packed, and that will start the work of going through town hall reservations. And again, I appreciate being able to use that space with no other space available. But we do have 24 programs planned for, and that's outside our continuous 396 programs in the line. These are additional. So, anyway, with that, I will leave you, and at 6:30, my trustees will return. And I sent a package of information, but I also printed it out, and Rick will bring that along. And I think it's just really important that we have a chance to talk to the board of trustees without you there. And 3 of my trustees are not available tonight, so I apologize for that, but any questions?
Who we expecting? Just Rick then? or-
Crawford, Rick Zeller, Debbie Snow, Sarah Meliseka.
Oh, good, so, okay, there'll be
we
enough,
still
yeah,
have-
yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely a quorum.
Yeah.
We have 7 trustees and an alternate,
Okay,
so there will definitely be.
good. Thanks.
Perfect.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Rachel. Sir?
List of receivables, front is most important because it shows our overdue
Yep.
folks that haven't paid bills. We haven't heard from the fellowship at all, so
Okay.
they're still sitting.
Sam, regarding the top 3,
Yeah.
what's the date, the timeline again for,
It's gonna be May
Okay.
or June for heating,
yeah,
so
okay.
Yep.
So,
I haven't heard from any of those individuals, so.
yeah, other than the one who appeared before us.
Right, but I haven't
Yeah. Understood,
seen any
yeah.
sort of payment or any sort of
Right,
nothing.
right, understood.
We haven't received our escrow payment, so that's why the PO2 is so high. But that should be coming through hopefully
Yeah.
end of this week,
Okay.
because due date's next week, so.
Yeah.
You said the escrows are due next week?
The bills are due next week,
Oh,
so
the
they have
bills
to,
Oh, yeah.
Right,
yeah, they've gotta be paid before the due date, so.
yeah, the 22nd, correct? Yeah,
Tuesday.
yeah,
Ooh, that's coming right up.
yeah, that's why I thought it was worth mentioning.
Eversource sent their $600,000 check, so
Good.
now we'll deposit that
Okay.
tomorrow.
Mhm. Very good.
That was nice.
That's a nice bit of mail.
Yes.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Huh.
So when do we have to decide about the top 3? Sooner rather than later. Okay. Because we're gonna be leaning in probably April, so the deeding is usually in May or June. Okay. So after town meeting, but before the first tax bill.
All right, any other questions for Sam?
No.
All right, thank
One
you.
moment, thank you, Stan. Okay.
I guess it's last man standing,
Sitting,
or sitting, as you choose, my friend.
takes too long to stand. Thank you for the lights. You
Good,
need-
everything
you need
went well then.
Sunglasses up there.
Yeah, good, that, better that way.
Very good. Just winter work going on, We use them, we break them. T3 was down, outside agency came in, fixed the coolant leak. New sander chain went into truck 7, the one plowing Sanborn, so. Visited the loader, and it's million of pieces scattered across the floor. That was a week ago. They said maybe the end of the week. I haven't heard yet, so should be soon.
Good.
They love that loader. I think it's great.
And what, are they doing brakes and that?
They're resealing the axles
Yep,
because the
yep,
brake
I remember,
was
yeah.
going out,
Yeah.
and they put in new center bearing
Yep, okay,
articulation.
yeah,
That part was done. They had the axles out.
yeah. Well, it'll be good as new when it comes back.
So pretty much love the new hire applicant.
Good.
We'll talk about, so.
Yep. Yeah,
And I
That was
guess
good.
now is as good a time.
absolutely, yep,
John and I interviewed an applicant, we've done all the background, all the reference checks. He's good, his name is Sean Hennington, lives up on Ayers Road in Canterbury.
okay.
And I'd like your permission to hire him.
I say, if you both agree and approve, then a yes from me, certainly.
I would say yes.
Okay, great.
It's unanimous.
Thank you.
Put him to work.
He will start next Monday.
Good deal.
Alrighty,
Very
thank you.
good.
Great.
Well done, both of you.
How long has he been on Ayers? Has he been here a long
He
time?
just
or-
moved in, within a couple months.
Oh, okay,
He came up from Arkansas.
alright.
Interesting.
Does he have any brothers or sisters who might wanna? Any family who might wanna come?
Talked about
Alright, good. Oh, do we have that? I didn't even look at my agenda. There we go.
Yeah. Ken, what are you thinking? Wanna sign some stuff? Our next appointment is actually not till 5:45, right?
Yeah, we might as well.
Alright, let's
sign
get
things.
to signing.
Can I jump in for a second?
Okay, of
Oh.
course,
Something I forgot to mention,
yeah,
usually it's the prerogative of the moderator to appoint a deputy moderator,
yep.
but I don't think we have a deputy moderator right now.
I heard a rumor that the deputy moderator may have resigned.
Right,
So-
so I think we need a deputy moderator.
Yeah.
I've reached out to
Yeah.
Jessica a couple times and I haven't heard back.
Okay,
And we need to schedule some stuff, starting to
Yeah.
lead up to town meeting.
yeah,
And I need a second person there that's gonna be watching ballot machine and learning
Of
how
course.
to use the ballot machine.
yeah,
So, something for you guys to think about, please.
okay.
Do you wanna put out a all points bulletin for somebody, or would you rather have somebody that,
That's up, I guess that's up to you.
Yeah.
I have nothing to do with the
okay,
Right,
position, so.
yeah.
I just think that we need somebody.
It's a necessary position.
yeah, absolutely. Deputy monitor, alright. Is there any, I know for the position of moderator, there was a huge document as to what that entails. Deputy moderator is just being prepared to do everything that the moderator does. Do they need the same training? Do they have to take the same?
They should take the same training.
Okay,
Yep,
I don't know that there's an actual prescribed job description in the law, but
that's a good question, actually, I don't know.
I don't know.
and I'm assuming that the supervisors of the checklist who had the huge list of names that they went through to find a moderator are going through those names again to see if there's,
I don't think they are, cause I don't think it's for them to decide, it's usually the moderator who appoints the deputy moderator,
Right,
so.
not up, yeah, but to suggest perhaps. Alright. I contact Jessica,
Treadway.
Treadway, yes, on other issues. Is it appropriate for me to try to reach out to her as well and say, hello? Okay, will do.
I would encourage that.
I'm assuming, again, sooner rather than later?
Sooner rather than later.
Okay.
Yeah, cause I know that, especially this time of year, there's a lot of training that is necessary.
Correct,
And this deputy moderator needs to be a town resident?
probably, yeah, I would say yes, cause I have
Okay.
to
I
be a
think
voter,
so,
so.
yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
alright.
I'm actually trying to find.
Does, Jessica currently have a town assigned email?
Yes,
Just same as everybody else?
as moderator at Canterbury and H.gov.
Alright. Chaser,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
I just texted you Huckleberry's number,
Okay. Will I call them and?
if you could call them, yeah, cause I don't have service down here, so,
Okay, will do.
yeah, thank you.
All right, so you're on that,
Yeah,
thank you.
yes, I should say.
Yes. All right, why don't we sign some documents? So I have an accounts payable manifest in the amount of $108,000, $609.40.
We'll move that we pay that.
I'll second. All those in favor?
Hi, I
Aye, I was just looking for big items.
was gonna say, did I say that right? I did.
You did, sorry, I was working distracted.
Excuse me. Oh,
It looks like several big items, huh? All sort of hitting at once.
that was really
End of the
handy,
year.
Yeah.
that was really handy last time, Cal, to see in the minutes what made it so big. I found it handy to see anyway.
Agreed.
Oh, was an all-time record according to Mary,
Oh, no kidding.
That was what?
Oh,
an all-time record.
Oh, okay,
dubious distinction.
yeah,
but
really.
Thank you.
Dubious is a very good word.
Yep. All right, next is a payroll manifest in the amount of $93,997.43.
93,940,
Nope, $993,997.43.
okay, I so moved.
All right, second, all those in favor?
Aye. Yowza.
That one was high because it's the fire department second payment
Yeah.
and all of the elected officials. And I think there were some health stipends in
Yes,
there.
quarterly stipend.
Oh, yeah,
Quarterly
okay,
stipends
yeah.
in there too.
Yeah,
Yes, thank you, Town of Canterbury, who's ever looking, reading, by the way.
all right. That- That brings us to a notice of intent to cut wood or timber. And that is map 257 lot 6 on Morrill Road.
Let me just sign that, yes.
Yeah, that is correct.
The one thing I realized I forgot to bring up when the chief was here, Chief Crotty, was I've been getting complaints about the logging trucks coming down Hackleboro. From walkers, bikers, and anyone else. And I don't know which property they're coming from.
That's Hutchinson, or Dana,
That is,
that's still Hopkinton, yeah.
okay,
They drive pretty, I mean.
Is it
they're-
speed
they're-
or?
No, they're actually pretty respectful, they're driving pretty slow, cause they chain their tires every time they hit dirt, so
yeah.
they gotta stop and they're.
alright. When they come down the hill by my house, they're coming at speed and they're big and they're in the middle of the road on the
You got
curves.
80,000 pounds on a truck, you can only go so slow on those corners.
Okay, I'm just saying. A couple of people have been diving in the bushes and they're not happy about it. So I don't know who to say what about to that.
Walker's education, that corner's a doozy.
Nobody's been squished yet, so that's good, but,
good.
I just told them to,
Where am I at?
the standard line, if you have a complaint, you call the chief.
They should.
But. Did you, oh yes,
I got signed the right spot, right?
I was just trying to see if you
Yep,
signed it.
looks like everybody, and there was only the one spot, Carol, right?
Yeah, there's only one blue thing.
Yeah, only one blue thing. All right, next is an appointment slip to the ZBA for Gary Spalding. I assume that is to replace our
Yes,
Chris, who's unfortunately resigned.
How come they gave it to him over Randy? Just curious.
I don't know.
Okay.
They asked both of them, Randy wanted more time training and because Gary was previously on the ZBA, they all felt that he would be better to become the full member for this round.
Yeah, just cause I know in the shoot, she was the first alternate,
Yes, yes, but,
that's all.
yeah, if you look at the,
Time as alternate, whatever you wanna call it.
time,
Yeah.
time and grade or,
Time as alternate.
Well, you know, and here's the thing, we talked about this before, and it's really helpful for you to say why Gary was appointed, but we had talked about getting a little bit more of a reasoning about why people are being appointed to boards,
right,
which would be,
so he was, yes, I do need to give you that information. He was already an alternate.
right,
right,
And I'll put it in the minutes, the reason why.
okay.
cool, thank you. There's that back, okay, and this is just a fund transfer from the Sam Lake House Capital Reserve into our operating account.
Yes.
The amount is $31,126.82.
That was to pay for work that has been done so far.
Very up on,
Yeah, at the garage,
yeah.
we're doing the drywall this week and.
Oh, great.
Do we know what's left on the balance of the job?
Well, there's still electrical, HVAC, the, finish, the painting, all that, there's
Yeah.
still, it's not even halfway through yet.
I guess I meant money wise, same, halfway money wise too,
Yeah, we paid the contractor half, the general contractor,
excuse me,
and we paid the electrician, I can't remember, we paid the electrician some and we paid the HVAC
okay.
half.
I mean, I know the money's there, we approved it all, I was just curious.
Alright, Cal, am I reading this?
Yes, if you could make a motion
Yep.
to that whole thing, the reason that you're doing this again is because, the New Hampshire VEA is the one who told us that we have to do this and gave us the language for it, and they gave us the wrong language. And so we've gotten several emails since then correcting that and saying, whoops, you actually have to do this. The big difference is that we don't have to put in all the panels, so
Okay.
all those numbers that I
Yep.
didn't have you read out.
I remember, yeah,
And then also for the maps, we have to keep dated April 2010 along with the new date, because some of the maps, some of the panels for Canterbury are from the old maps and some of them are the new ones, so that's why they want it to say that, so those are the only changes.
okay. Alright, so I'll make a motion that pursuant to RSA 674:57 by resolution of the select board, all land designated as special flood hazard areas by the Federal Emergency Management Agency in its flood insurance study for the county of Merrimack, New Hampshire, dated January 23rd, 2026, together with the associated flood insurance rate maps dated April 19th, 2010, and January 23rd, 2026. Is that date correct, Cal? 2026?
Yes, it's
Okay.
gonna be,
It'll take effect then?
Yep.
Okay. Are declared to be part of the town of Canterbury's zoning ordinance and are hereby incorporated by reference. I need a second.
I will second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Not if this is what they have told us that we need to say.
Check.
Far be it from me to oppose them.
Alright, go through that. That.
Get 26 pretty soon.
Yep.
25 for the first 2 months of the year.
Exactly. Alright, there's that.
Always.
Alright, so I think that brings us to minutes.
So we have the November 18th minutes,
Yeah, why don't we-
drafted.
Why don't we start with those, 12/3. Yeah, there it is, okay, so the November 18th minutes, this is draft number 2, it looks like.
Okay,
so the main changes that have occurred since the first draft, is adding, I've highlighted them from line 41 to line 52, sections G, H, I, and J.
Yep,
Thank you.
Just to cover some of the conversation that happened about the transfer station.
okay,
And then I think the other suggestions are more of the grammatical typo kinds, like adding from the town and of the spreaders.
yeah,
So I
Yeah.
think that's the only major change that has occurred.
okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Alright, so I will make a motion that we accept the minutes from the November 18th meeting as amended.
I second that.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Alright,
Draft as amended.
right. Alright, so why don't we turn our attention next to the December 1st meeting?
So in this one, the first suggested change is moving section K up to section D, just because for logical purposes, it makes more sense to have it all together.
Okay, it makes
Oh,
sense to me,
that's
yeah.
much more sense than repeating it down under
Yeah.
K. Okay, thank you.
And then on the next page, line 110 and 111, it's a little hard to understand because I didn't feel like writing it all out, but it's changing it so that instead of just saying the library trustees increases wages by 9.6% and overall budget by 6.9%, I'm actually gonna list the from this dollar value to this dollar value, parentheses 6.9%, and then the overall budget from this dollar value to this dollar value. And then I'm also gonna add a sentence saying the trustees' funding increases from this dollar value to that dollar value.
Perfect, thank you.
Just to try to make it a little more clear what's happening.
Great, thank you.
And then I removed on line 117 the by 15K, just because that'll be redundant once I add that sentence above.
Okay, yep,
The only other substantial one is on line 227. I wrote 320,000, I should have written 275,000, because at that point we were talking about the portion of the budget to be raised by taxes, not the overall one.
Thank you. Alright,
alright, I'll make a motion that we accept the December 1st minutes as amended.
I will second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye? We expected, Ruth, anybody else?
Beth is coming, oh, you want
Okay.
us ready?
Well, we're ready for you, we could take a pause, but if we're waiting for Beth, we can wait it, we can go on to other minutes.
Okay.
So-
Oh, no, yeah, if you can
Yeah.
finish the last one.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
got it. Which one, Cal?
We've got
So
a,
this is December 3rd,
Yep,
this is the one where Beth took the minutes.
okay,
Um,
transfer station walkthrough?
yes.
Okay,
and do I don't have a copy of that
I
in
think
here.
Scott do you have them all?
maybe,
Yeah.
oh, yeah,
Oh,
how about,
Oh, sorry.
40 minutes.
I've got an extra copy now.
And one's for
you go.
Ken, yes. Sorry about
My comment was, these were lovely minutes.
that. So, well, the
No.
one thing that I do need to change is I'm gonna add on the very end that is minutes submitted by Beth.
There you
Oh,
go.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
That's required by law now.
Okay,
okay.
But I didn't receive any other feedback. I might have only sent them out today, I can't even
Yeah.
remember anymore.
and I guess the only comment I'll make, since it sort of reminded me, is we should announce this sooner rather than later. You know, this is what we're doing, just to give people time.
Do we have to sign anything to change that, or is it?
Well, that was my question too, if we just talked about these prices that are like the pay-as-you-throw bags, is that enough? And should I announce it again when I'm doing the newsletter, should I put it in there
So
now?
it should be in the newsletter, on town email, and then we'll make the change on the website.
Okay, so all these changes that are outlined here,
Yes.
okay,
And I
did you
think-
send them to me, or do I just need to, pick them up from here?
I will redo the fee schedule.
schedule,
I'll read you
right.
the fee schedule and I'll send it to you, so.
But if I wanna just put can I just lift it from here and put it in the newsletter?
Sure, if you want.
And then I'll take the fee schedule as well, but this'll be a heads up,
Yeah.
okay.
And Calvin, was your question, do we need a motion on this?
Yeah, I just wasn't sure if we can just post the fees or if we
Yeah.
have to approve them or.
I think we were all in agreement
yeah, I
at the
don't-
meeting,
Right.
so,
You don't need a motion to increase the fees.
Okay.
yeah.
Did you say what date you want them to go into effect?
I believe we,
January 1st is
yeah,
what
that
it
was
said.
my memory of the discussion as well.
I don't know if that's in the minutes or not.
I did not put that in the minutes,
Alright, then I'm just gonna say, I'll put it in these minutes.
Okay,
okay.
Effective
There you
January
go.
1st.
yeah. All right, is it, everybody had time to give them a look, and anybody want any
I
other?
wrote them, so I'm fine.
Okay. All right, I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from the December 3rd walkthrough of the transfer station.
Can I second my own minutes? I
Sure.
second them,
All those in favor, aye?
aye.
All right.
I'm getting organized, I'm gonna send myself an email to that,
Yeah.
to my, to
All right,
that
so do we wanna, since we're still waiting for Beth,
Walking up.
she's walking up, okay.
She is walking in.
You wanna talk about the healthcare contract?
I just need a vote from you guys to authorize me to sign the, healthcare,
All right,
and I have. Oh, I thought I had that form. It has to be signed by you guys. I didn't bring it with me.
okay.
But if you can take a vote, and then we'll.
Yep,
just
yep,
sign
and then we'll just, yeah,
You
we'll
can
pop
come
in
in
and
and
sign
sign
it, okay. So I'll make a motion that we authorize Ken to sign the health trust contract on our behalf.
I would second that.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
All right,
Alright,
In case anybody needs to know what I'm doing here, nothing illegal, I am putting a note to myself to put these prices that we just discussed in the newsletter.
cool. Ruth and Beth, whenever you're ready.
We're from the Energy Committee and we sent some information. I sent this document about a month ago. Does anyone need a copy of it to look at now? I brought the copy.
I've got it, so,
If you, it's
yeah,
handy right
yeah,
here. The second page is in there because basically it's just what we wanted
Yeah,
to say to you.
yeah.
I'll take one since you brought it, if you have extras, since you
Yeah,
got it.
this doesn't have, there's this, the answer to that question is not on there because I got tired of using my copier to make copies. I said, I can just
Thank
tell
you.
you what it said on the other side. And so there's two parts to what we wanna talk about, why we would wanna do this and what the steps are. I have a little document with the steps, which I did this afternoon. Do you wanna hear why first? Cause Beth's gonna talk to why.
Sure.
I'll give you the very basics and Ruth can fill in the blanks. C-PACER is an opportunity for businesses in our community to take advantage of some favorable loan terms in order to do energy efficiency work on their buildings. And as the Energy Committee, that's our goal, is to be able to enable people to do that sort of thing, is to make it possible for them to be more energy efficient as well as for the town. And this just seems right up that alley. And though we don't have a lot of businesses in town, for the few businesses that we do have in town, it seems like this might be a great opportunity. I understand there's something going in down at exit 18. Wouldn't it be nice to see some solar panels up there? Or have them able to tie up the building and insulate it and make it more tight? I suspect it's not very tight, as we all have experience in our own homes. So just one example of how that might work out.
Hey, I did get a question this afternoon when I contacted Mandy and Sam about how this would affect them, and they said, does this mean that people who are operating small businesses where people are coming and going, where you've given permission, can those people apply so that their little, addition or whatever they could put solar panels on that and that would qualify? He didn't know the answer to that guy he said, that's a very good question. Because usually they're asking people that are, you know, developers are gonna take advantage of this. Current business owners, they thought that possibly the country store might, what if they wanted to get solar panels on? Or do extra energy efficiency measures that cost more than they had the capital upfront to do right now. And they could apply for this loan, and then they could be paying it back and paying back the the savings on their energy would be paying back the loan, because it's very long term. Stays with the property, if the property gets sold. So, the way this works is the town, other questions?
No, actually, you've anticipated and answered one of my questions, which was, liability and, such on the part of the town. And it looks like we have no responsibility or liability, for this program, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
This was made possible by a legislation that passed in 2025. There will be new legislation in 2026, they anticipate will pass, it was bipartisan. And it's because it's encouraging developers to do things that save energy and that provide more jobs in our state. So, that would say that in order to implement a quote CPACER district, because you don't have the whole town doesn't have to be part of the district, you can set off districts and say it's just the commercial districts, but in order to implement that, the law says that in towns like ours, we have to have a warrant article, and the warrant article is not saying we're going to participate. The warrant article says we're going to let the select board participate by going forward and having a public meeting, and after hearing public input, we'll decide whether to participate in this program.
okay.
Is that you sent, do you have that language?
I have, so what I have here is ignore that little scribble on the top, I was trying to figure out my copier.
Oh,
Whether it copies
Thanks,
on
Ruth.
two sides. The first part is the wording for the warrant.
Yep.
By the way, all this wording came from lawyers at New Hampshire Business Finance Authority and was approved by New Hampshire Municipal Association. So they've already given their stamp of approval of this wording. So that's what we would be putting on the warrant. That we're just gonna establish the town, I left their blanks there, this is the template, I didn't fill it out. Actually, it was kind of filled out, but it didn't print, I copied it. It was in different characters. So we can decide but I want you to get an overall view of the next step. Then there's the public hearing. At the end of the public hearing, the select board votes, yes, we are participating, or if you are. And then there is wording for a model ordinance. I did not bring these 4-page. Over there. There's a model ordinance that's like 4 pages, that's what the actual ordinance could look like. And you don't have to make any, you can just use that model ordinance. And then you would sign a contract, a participation agreement with New Hampshire Business Finance Authority, authorizing them to do the saying that we want to participate. And you'll become one of the municipalities that are participating. And then when they get a lender who wants to work with us, they'll say, oh, go check, oh yeah, Canterbury's part of us. They'll do all the prep work, they'll find out, all this. We have to say things like, after they prep them and vet them, we have to say, they don't owe any taxes, and a couple other things. We have to make sure that they're in good standing in the town. And then we, before that, after you sign the model ordinance, somebody in town has to be appointed the contact person, who will be the only person that gets emails back and forth. And, so the next step is what happens when a property's been vetted by them, and then they send you that information. And this is where there's a little bit of stuff that town employees have to do. Should I stop here and not let you ask questions up to this point?
Who establishes the boundaries of the C-Pacer district?
You guys. You could say it's the entire town.
Okay,
You could say it's only the commercial or mixed properties. You would define that in this.
okay,
So you would have to make a decision.
all right,
And if you found out that people who had businesses, small businesses, running off of their residential property, and you wanted them to be able to apply, then you could somehow put the wording in for that, or just say the whole town.
yeah.
Other questions?
I think I'm still unsure about what this means as far as work for the town offices, only for several reasons. First of all, it had been on the books for like since 2010 and nobody had signed up for it. Then they changed the legislation and they said, oh yeah, there's gonna be all this, like in January of this past year, it's gonna be all, this big race to do it. When you go to the New Hampshire, the NHBFA website and look, they've got a link that says approved towns.
Nobody's on it, because
Nobody's on it, but if you do a Google search, up comes like 10 towns, but they're huge, they're Concord, they're Manchester, they're Portsmouth, there are no little towns listed that I could see. And I just hesitate only because I'd hate for us to be the first little town without really knowing how it really works, not just how they make it sound like it works. That's my hesitation. So,
well, first of all, I believe they're gonna be putting the little towns onto that list.
there's no towns currently on
Exactly.
that list.
Yeah, but you said you found some.
Some, if you just Google, do
Someone's-
random AI Google search, but,
Yeah,
and
that's not necessary, but I talked to them, Durham is already doing this from that previous one. But the hoops the town had to go through was discouraging, that's why nobody did it.
Right.
That's why they changed and rewrote the
Right.
the law, so that it's easier for New Hampshire Business Finance Authority to take over those responsibilities that we are not interested in doing. We don't wanna find a lender, we don't wanna vet this person, all that gets done by them. And all we have to do is, this is what we have to do. The tax assessor will receive, first of all, the appointed official will say, yes, we see that somebody in town wants to do this and wants to, some owner of property wants to do this, and that we will sign this very wordy agreement, which you read. And that we agree to have the tax assessor put a lien, what they call it, an assessment, a special assessment on this property and record that in the Register of Deeds. After that, it appears that we do nothing until the loan is paid off, and they tell us, the loan is paid off, you can take the special assessment lien off, which we do. And then the owner of the property goes and gets, that we certify that has happened, and then they go and get the lien removed from the Registry of Deeds.
and what if the property owner doesn't pay?
There's lots of wording about that.
Who chases them down?
They're not paying, they're paying property taxes. And it has nothing to do with this special assessment. So whatever, so are you saying if they pay our property tax, or they don't pay the loan?
Either,
If they don't
Or
pay the
both.
loan, from my wording, I'm not a lawyer, and I've tried really hard to understand what was happening on there. But and this is what the guy at New Hampshire Business Finance Authority said. He said, the lender goes after that. Because they're not paying them. And so, but, if they're paying their property taxes, like, so what,
I guess I wonder if a person continues to pay their loan, but does not pay their taxes, and we wanna deed the property.
Yeah, I think that's addressed in the document.
Okay,
And the document says, that CFA and New Hampshire Hampshire Finance wants you to let them pay so that the property doesn't get a tax lien on it. So they're gonna ask, that's part of it, you're letting them pay, you're gonna let them pay, that's probably part of the special assessment, I don't understand special assessment. But, I can come back with more information after I get the word, more back from them with your nitty-gritty questions. But had I had more time, I could have, and I had another 3 hours.
Oh, those last 3 hours.
On this today and
Yeah.
3 hours another day. But it does address in there, and I can give you those, I have those long documents. Some of them printed on paper that I can't really let.
Yeah,
because
but you,
it's like
with you.
budgets for
Yeah,
nonprofits.
you emailed those already though, didn't you?
I think I did.
I think you did too.
Yes. And
I guess I would encourage you guys to go to the NHBFA website and look at their CPACER and all of the information that's there.
Yeah.
I have some concerns, I've spoken with the tax collector and the assessor, we have some concerns over the town's role in this.
Okay.
And,
Well, I know we're doing a reval next
So-
year, right?
yeah, and I guess we really don't have time tonight to go into all the details, but I encourage you guys to go to that website, look at all of the things.
Yeah.
And also go not to just to their website, but there's articles, if you just Google NH
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
CPACER,
Yeah.
there's articles that talk about it. I think it is, after looking at it, I think it's a really good idea for, as Beth said, the bigger towns, cities and everything that wanna encourage particularly commercial, because that is all this addresses, is commercial. It's not residential, unless it's multifamily residential.
Okay.
So, I guess I have some concerns over the town's participation in this from the start of either an overlay for our zoning ordinance
Yeah.
map, right down to if there's a lien and what happens if somebody defaults on a lien, or if they default on tax
Yeah.
payments. And, I haven't had a lot of time to really dig into this, and so I would encourage you guys to look at it.
well, and the one thing that I did see, you know, and maybe they haven't had time to put the list of participating towns, but they did have a, link to 16 helpful documents that you would need to make this happen. I thought, well, that's no small amount of documents, but I was glad that it was helpful.
I have the 7 that I thought we needed after talking to them.
Yeah.
You know, there's an ordinance, the reason there's so many is because they've done all the legal work for you. They've done the ordinance, they even have it, I also have 4 copies of the checklist of, you know, that your people would use that says, you know, they received the check here. They
So we have no
received
deal.
the application. They have, here's the closing date, here's the property they have to confirm property taxes
Right,
are
thank
already
you.
due, are
Love all this stuff.
updated.
Okay.
And I don't know what else it says, but I gave you every copy, but I didn't turn my computer on yet, to turn my copy.
No worries.
But
and-
it has, you know, you can kind of see that they say this is what the town has to do. And it-
Okay. All
It
right.
seems to me a little backwards, maybe to put a warrant up first and then have a public hearing? We just can't do
Well,
it like an informational,
that's- I
except
think
everybody
that's
from
what
town who'll come, would be residential.
I think that the law is written. They
It has
are
to do it that
following
way?
the letter of the law.
Yeah.
Who knows why the law was written that way? If you've ever been in the legislature, you understand.
Alright,
All right, so I think that what we need to do is do more research, talk to our town employees, and then decide from there.
Yeah, I did talk with them this afternoon. They were very kind in looking at all this stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, and so I'm sure you've had the same. Interestingly, one of their concerns was, why is the state not doing this? The state is doing this. New Hampshire Business Finance Authority is a quasi-state. And they're not state employees, but they are doing the state's work based on what the state tells them to do.
Okay.
So that question really is answered by, yes, it is
Yeah.
the state doing this.
Alright. Thank you.
Okay, Ken, while Ruth is here, do you wanna find out more about the meeting on, did you happen to read, I didn't see
Yes, I
anything
did.
further, okay,
The,
from Ron.
from Ron said that this is a free audit, that they're gonna walk through and do something free, so we're not committing ourselves to anything, so they're gonna give us some free information by going through and looking on Wednesday through the municipal building.
So I guess,
And he's ready
I
to
mean,
do
from my perspective, that's fine, other than I was copied on 2 emails on something I knew nothing about. And then I reached out and I never heard anything back. I reached out last Thursday, I never heard anything back till today, after I got the calendar invite. So I would ask that communications be a little bit better, so I know what's going on, so I can tell the employees up at the building what to expect. Again, I just, I was a little mystified by
So we're waiting.
being brought in on these emails and
I didn't get
saying,
him either.
so,
What we were asking about was a price for an audit.
okay,
And they jumped to, we can do a free audit, and then Ron went on vacation.
okay.
And so
And
Ron
that's
didn't
why it
see,
wound up.
and Ron didn't get back and see it till I said, did you read your emails?
But my question would be, the discussion I thought that we had was about what level, and I don't know the levels of audit, but their free audit is not like a level 4 audit,
No,
whatever
no.
we were talking about.
Yeah, we would like to know how much it would cost to do a audit that will give us how much we're going to save and how much it's gonna cost to do this particular thing. Like insulate the ceiling better here or whatever, only it's not this building. And what we will save when the payback. And that costs more money to get. And they didn't get that message clearly from Ron's communication on Tuesday, because we had a meeting Monday night. He was doing his best to do it Tuesday, and then he went on vacation and he didn't.
So is this audit gonna provide us any different information than we already have from the 2010 audit?
If and the free audit isn't going to don't we have when we talked the other night about having some requirement or was it just a recommendation we do one every 10 years?
It's recommended that you do them every 10 years.
Like
Because there's
an
new
official
technologies
level
and
4, is that what
level.
it's called?
I know of a level 2, but I don't know.
Okay, level 2.
I mean,
We want the level that gives us what I just said,
Okay.
whatever level they call that.
so they're offering us a free one, even though that isn't what we asked about.
And then you got, we don't know why
You
you
got stuck in
on
the
it.
middle somehow.
Yeah, we expected that they would just contact Ron back and Ron would report to us.
Yeah.
And so what does the free one really
We
buy us?
We don't know.
We don't.
But it's going to take somebody's time to walk around with them and does anybody up there have that time to?
I'll make sure I get notification out to the staff up there on tomorrow,
Okay,
so they know about it, it's coming on Wednesday.
okay,
And
So,
Ron
thank
said he
you.
would go.
So as far as whether it makes sense to do
It's just that we
another one,
need keys to get into the
Yeah.
police department and, other places in there that are secure, that's all.
as far as whether or not it makes sense to do another one, we've done some things up there. So I think the results will be different than they were 11 years ago. We would like to have a level that would provide us more information than the last one. You should have exhaust fans to bring the heat down. Okay, what kind of fans are you talking about?
Yeah.
A little more information than we got the last time.
At the end of this free assessment, will they be able to give a price for
No.
what it would take to?
I don't think so.
We don't know,
We don't know,
we don't know,
we don't
we
know,
don't
but
know,
we're-
because we
we're-
didn't ask them.
Okay, how about when if Ron's going, he asks?
Yeah, yes,
And
if there's a
I'm sure
price?
we'll know more
Alright.
after we
The
talk.
good news is.
Oh, there's
that
good
we-
news?
That we did the lighting audit up there,
Yay.
and we met with Affinity, Beth was there,
Yeah.
Beth was there, and at no tax impact, we can get all new LED smart lights up there.
Yeah.
From a New Hampshire company, so we'll talk about this a little later. It's on the agenda for a little later, and we'll talk and then go from there.
Okay, great. I'm
That was
glad
that was a great meeting.
So that's the good news.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yay. Okay, we won't take any more of your time up, but and it's okay, we'll do this free thing you're talking about, like, what if we want to actually get this other information, since we didn't get that back from them, that information.
Well,
back.
perhaps if you have somebody right in front of you without having to do an
Exactly.
email, you can actually get some,
Exactly.
yeah, or at least
That's what I
the
think.
proper contact person.
Yeah.
That would be great. And when do we need to do
Thank you.
anything about this, about CPACER? Next meeting?
I
Can we
think-
do it?
If it's gonna be a warrant article, it would have to be soon,
Okay,
cause we have to get the language to the DRA and our attorneys.
And they were emphasizing that the attorneys and municipal organization had looked over that language.
We have to send all of ours to
Yeah.
our attorneys,
Yeah.
cause they're the ones who would defend us in court if we did something like that.
And it does, there's no point in the energy committee doing this warrant, cause it has to be recommended by,
By the selectmen,
that's part of the law.
okay,
They'll figure it
that
out.
makes sense.
okay?
Am I next up, or is somebody between
So I
me?
don't.
No,
That's
actually,
That was.
Thank you,
hold your
Ruth.
place. Ruth, thank you.
You're very welcome. Alright. Oh yeah, we're taking stock in paper, we're gonna bring the paper industry back to the Hampshire. Alright, so it's that time of year for rate setting again.
Yep,
I'm now here as the community power representative to New Hampshire Community Power. And I thought I'd do a little bit of a review, just so that we're all in the same place. CPCNH, the Community Power Coalition of New Hampshire, now sets separate rates for each utility, because the utilities started down pricing their prices, and community power can't compete, because we don't have shareholders to pull that from, and we don't have reserves like they do. So we have been over, the community power rate has been over the utility rates by 2 plus a little bit cents for the last rate period, the one that we're in right now. That's a new thing. We had been able to keep our prices under, and this time we could not. There's no guarantee that it will be under again this time, or it will be over again this time. The rate setting is gonna happen Thursday at the board meeting of Community Power. We have a representative who will sit in on that board meeting, and I will be going to an information session on it on Friday. But because of the way our meetings fall, and because of the quickness that we need to make a decision, I have put together a proposed vote that takes into hopefully all possibilities. Currently, we are sitting at the Granite basic rate as our default. It is not the one, is the one without an adder, so only people who have opted up to community, to Canterbury, basic are adding to that, reserve fund that we set up at, town meeting last time. Our current community power, Canterbury basic rate has a 2 mil adder, and that 2 mils goes into the fund that is transferred from community power to the town. And just so we have a sense of how much, what's the magnitude of this adder, for a customer with a 500 kilowatt hour monthly bill, I don't know who has a 500 kilowatt hour or below or above, mine used to be 300, then I added a couple of electric cars and it's beyond that. A 2 cents adder would add $1 to the monthly bill, or $6 during the course of the rate period. A 4 cent adder would be $2, or $12 over the 6-month period. I don't talk to everybody in town who's on this, but the people who I have talked to want to be on the adder, and they don't necessarily opt up when that happens. Just a little side. So during the next rate period, it is possible that we'll have one utility with a rate above the utility rate, and the other utility, either Unitil or Eversource, below the utility rate. Just to be clear, that's the first time we've had a sense that that could be possible. That complicates things, but it's not something we can't handle, so the vote is a little longer. Just to walk you through what the committee recommends in plain language without a vote. We would prefer to adopt the Canterbury basic rate with the adder of 1 to 4 mils as the default rate in Canterbury, as long as it is lower than the utility rate. If it's higher than the utility rate, we would, and this is number 4, adopt the Granite basic rate without the utility, without the adder. If we can be below the utility rate and still have Canterbury basic, we would set that adder at 1 to 4 mils, as we've said in the past, depending on what, how far below the utility rate we are.
Beth, can I interrupt
Sure.
for a second? I didn't think we had the option of setting the adder, I thought that was an automatic calculation by community power.
No, it's not by community power, we set it, we
Once we see
say
the-
how it will be,
Right.
and they do the mechanisms to make sure that everybody's charged the rate.
Okay,
So the way we've set up the vote is that it would be 1 to 4 mils, as long as it, at the highest
Is
it
lower,
could be,
yeah.
as long as it's lower than utility. So if we're only 2 mils below utility, it's gonna be 1 or 2 mils,
Yeah.
not 4. I covered all of that. If it's for 1 utility, then we would set Canterbury basic for 1 utility and Granite basic for the other. I think the reality is we're keeping people below the utility rate where we can, and where we can't, we're holding it at the lowest rate that we
Yeah.
can.
Which is the Granite basic.
So you have a vote in front of you, it's a little more wordy than the last one because of this complication. I'll let you read it yourselves, or if you prefer, I can read it, whatever works.
So we're looking at paragraph 2, under proposed select board vote, right?
Yes,
As far as
2 and,
wording,
2 and on is the
yep,
vote,
okay,
yes,
wow,
correct.
okay.
yeah, that's the whole thing underneath is the,
You would have to read that as well.
I can do that. Maybe the drink in the middle, but
let's,
we can do this.
let me,
Yeah,
you-
I'll give
you-
everybody a minute to look through
this
it.
is only like the 3rd time I've seen it, but it's still a
I do
headbanger.
have one extra if anybody wants to see.
Canterbury basic, Edgar should actually come on up as our other community power rep. So
You said
Edgar,
that
come on
together.
up, get your face in here. Thank you. Okay. Right, I've already got a question, but I'll wait till everybody reads. This is the same question I had the first time I read this.
You can't do the last paragraph, and we'll talk about why
Okay.
later.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
Yeah.
You can erase spaces, I was just trying to cover them.
Oh,
I get it.
we're laughing because of our friends at the DRA.
Oh, yes. Never a dull moment.
We have multiple communications with our friends at the DRA on things like this, and
Like-
they're very
Probably daily.
specific- Very specific on what we can do and what we can't do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if I
Let me know
can,
which it is.
if I can ask a question,
Sure.
because this is where my understanding of the grammar, I think, comes in. So the default rate to me is the one that we automatically get with no question. But this-
which default?
the-
'Cause there are
I'm
two
go-
defaults.
Wait a minute, I'm going to the first paragraph, that's, or the second paragraph. Canterbury Community Power will adopt Canterbury Basic as its default only if Granite Basic is below the utility. I would have thought it would be if it was higher than the utility. If Granite,
It is, if it is below the utility, then we have the space to do the adder. If
Alright, so
Granite
if Gar-
Basic is below the utility,
oh, okay, I see.
then we can add to bring it up closer to the utility.
So if Granite Basic is below the utility, then Granite Basic is a no-go and we're gonna go with the Canterbury Basic with the adder.
As our default.
Because we've got the room
As our default.
as our default. Okay, okay.
But what if Granite Basic and Canterbury Basic are both above the utility rate?
That was my next question.
Yeah.
I'm
And
sorry.
so that is
No, that's
in
good.
the next paragraph down, Canterbury Community Power will adopt Granite Basic rate as described above as its default if Granite Basic rate is higher than or equal to the utility supply rate. So there's two instances. The first one is covered by paragraph 1 and the second one is covered by paragraph 2 of the vote.
So in both cases, we're deciding what we do based on how Granite Basic relates to the utility rate.
Correct, yes.
Okay, so if Granite Basic is lower than the utility rate, we have the room to breathe and we can switch over and do Canterbury Basic.
Correct.
But if Granite Basic is already higher than the utility rate, there's no option to do Canterbury Basic.
Well, there is, but by this vote.
I mean by
we
honor,
choose
by choosing,
Yeah.
but our default will be Granite Basic. Okay, now I get it. It's complicated grammar.
It is complicated.
Okay,
Yeah.
we understand it may be possible for the default
And,
rate. Okay,
there are levels above Granite Basic and the Canterbury Adder that will still be available
That's right.
if, and I don't know how many people in town take advantage of that.
Well, I
what was
think
it, 6?
As happens with almost anything that is opt-up, if you
Yeah.
have to take action, very few people do it.
Yep.
Though, we do have a few people who have chosen
Yeah,
100% renewable.
Yep.
And a few
Yeah.
people who have stuck with Canterbury Basic,
Yep.
even though it's higher than Granite Basic.
Yep.
And they stay on Canterbury Basic, whether it's our default or not, because they've opted up.
yep.
And have they pursued it all? Have you heard anything about them pursuing, allowing the adder to be on all the rates above the most basic?
They are still working on it, I think it's gonna be a while. Their work is cyclical and right now
Yeah.
they're focused just on the rate.
Alright.
So,
Yeah,
When it comes to the accounting part of that, it's where they have to work a lot of it out in order to implement that in all those different levels
Yeah,
when it comes to billing.
yeah, I would think it would be a bear, so.
yeah, it makes it more complicated, it is really nice for the town, if we could do that.
Yeah.
We have certainly said we're interested.
yeah, yeah.
We
And,
do hear from people regularly about that.
Yeah, Beth, once again, going back to paragraph 2, the Granite Basic rate plus an adder that is greatest of 1 to 4 mils, so basically you're asking us to give you the discretion to set that from 1 to 4, as long as it remains below the utility's default supply rate,
It
right?
would be the highest of 1
Yeah.
to 4, and maybe the greatest, yes.
Canterbury.
Yeah,
That is the greatest of 1 to 4 mils above
Okay.
Yeah.
Granite Basic.
yeah,
And who determines? Community Power or Select Board?
They set the rate and we will accept, I mean, this is our guidance for what to tell community power.
Right,
what
but
we're gonna
who
do.
tells Community Power? Do you go
I'll
to
give
them
them-
and say,
I'll give them this-
once you do the,
Yeah.
once you have the calculation and we know exactly what the rate is going to be, if we have breathing room to do Canterbury Basic with an adder,
Yeah.
who actually says to
You would
them,
be
okay,
authorizing Beth to
Yeah.
set that.
right,
okay, that's my question.
So
Got
I will be in touch with them throughout the whole thing, and I will come back to you in January and tell you what happened.
yeah,
Okay,
Just hold your horses for that, I know you're gonna just be excited to wait.
okay,
yeah. So I guess one of the questions I have for the other select board members is, are you okay with, basically a sliding scale of the, Canterbury Basic? Because we haven't done that in the past, it's
We
always
have
been,
actually done that in the past. It has been, it was in the vote the last time,
Yeah,
1 to 4.
Okay, 1 to 4 was?
Yeah.
I
1 to
don't
4.
remember.
however
Okay.
much, I
We
should say,
Oh, that's right, cause it didn't work out.
yeah.
We
Yeah.
didn't implement it.
Yeah, okay, that's why.
So I
Okay.
think that, to answer your question, yes, I am okay with it because it only works if the math works.
Right, right, Calvin?
I'm in the same boat, yeah.
Okay, alright.
Can I ask Calvin, are you on, community power?
No, cause I have solar.
I know, this is the problem.
Cause I was
I'm
just gonna
looking for
ask
some
you,
Yeah.
what are they gonna allow people with solar to do?
Yeah, the committee has talked about holding a listening session, after these next, rates are on everybody's bills. So that we can get feedback on, A, how do you think we're doing with this adder stuff? And B, here's what we know about, solar, but basically, if you put solar on in 2017, sometime in 2017 and earlier, there may be an opportunity to get on community power. But it's not gonna be beneficial unless you have at least some bills in the wintertime, no, I say in the wintertime, some bills, because there's an issue with the credits.
Right.
And so if you have a bunch of credits piled up, they may go away once you get on community power, and they don't want that to be the case for anybody. They're working on getting the utilities to do what's necessary in order to make this work, but
Well, don't the credits change too, when you put your,
that's
it used to be 1-for-1 and then it was like 70% and then
That's
it
right.
had, yeah.
yeah, so it's kilowatt hours for the early
Doesn't
folks and dollars for the later folks.
Like I put
And
mine
they
in
can
at 18.
make kilowatt hours work, but they can't make the dollars work because it's not a 1-to-1 sort of thing. So it gets really complicated.
Well, that probably hamstrings a little bit of the town because a lot of people are on solar
Mm.
and
That's right.
alternative energies.
That's right,
Yes,
we
they
have
are.
like, it's 800 and some odd people on community power. How many households are there in town? I don't know. How many meters are there in town? I don't know.
I think
Um,
1100's
1100-ish?
pretty close, yeah.
And then there are people who were on third parties when community power came out and they did not get opted up because they had already made their choice.
Yeah, and the co-op people, so.
Yeah, and the co-op people.
So, and just so anybody knows, if we were going to be doing, Board of Selectmen rep reports, here it is. This is my report on this committee, because this is what we talked about, what that said,
Edgar said,
that said.
yeah. Alright,
So we can't do this last paragraph,
yeah,
correct? Alright,
okay. Alright, so everybody's okay with this?
Yes.
yes,
Okay, alright, so I'm gonna just read it.
except for the last
Except for the
paragraph,
last
correct? We
paragraph.
can't, okay.
I'm crossing it out.
Alright, so, Canterbury Community Power will adopt the Canterbury Basic Rate as its default rate only if the granted basic rate set by the Community Power Coalition of New Hampshire at its upcoming December 18th, 2025 board meeting is below the utility default supply rate. Under that condition, the Canterbury Basic Rate will equal the granted basic rate plus an adder that is the greatest of 1 through 4 mils above the granted basic rate, so long as the Canterbury Basic Rate remains below the utility default supply rate. Customers will be able to opt down to the granted basic rate set by CPC&H. Canterbury Community Power will adopt the granted basic rate set as described above as its default rate if the granted basic rate is higher than or equal to the default utility supply rate. Under that circumstance, customers will be able to opt up to the community basic rate with a rate 2 mils above the granted basic rate. We understand that it may be possible for the default rate for customers of one utility, Eversource or Unitil, to be granted basic, and the default rate for customers of the other utility to be Canterbury Basic. So I'll put that in the form of a motion.
And I will second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye? Alright, and Cal, do you have this?
Yes, I
Okay,
do.
just wanted to make sure.
Would you like that by, email?
That would be, that would be
Send
awesome.
to Cal.
Yes,
I will
Super.
definitely do that.
All right, thank you
All
for
right. We've got, other
Organ-
parties coming in about 2 minutes.
organizing this very
Beth,
complicated
thank you.
language.
And Edgar, thank you.
Happy to do it.
Thank you
and,
both.
Cal, if you wanna put me on for the first meeting in January, whenever it's convenient, it's not a rush.
January 5th?
research.
Yeah,
maybe said?
yeah.
But I'll get,
65.
That's what I thought, I just wanted to make sure.
And I do have, I did bring the paperwork for the health trust,
Okay,
so you can sign
Yeah.
it.
oh, good,
I'll get it-
okay,
I'll get it for you, right?
perfect. And I'm gonna just take my iPad out because I've got all the spreadsheets and everything on that.
Hey Cal,
yeah,
are you in tomorrow or Wednesday?
I will be in tomorrow.
I have to reset my email again. I've been locked out for like 3 days.
Okay, yep, come in tomorrow, yeah.
Tech support will,
Yeah, you know. I typed in the wrong
Tomorrow
passcode.
is at 4 p.m. I have to be in Concord, so
If not, I'll just come in Wednesday, it's not the end of the world.
I'll be in
If I see
tomorrow.
your car, I'll stop in, if not, Wednesday.
I won't hide my car. And did you see the check that's in your phone?
Sweet.
look at you.
Merry
guys.
Christmas.
That's it.
Going to Vegas.
Eh,
I'll cover the plane ticket.
good.
Well, Kathy suggested the town keep the check and put it toward our taxes, so.
No.
That's what I did with mine last year.
Yep.
Alright. Thanks, Beth.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Edgar.
Thanks for all you guys do. I know this is a lot of work and we really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And I'll say thank you for the tax bill too.
We're just the pretty faces. That's
Yeah,
the,
no,
that's
I
the
know,
working
I meant
crew.
everybody.
Scott, I do
Yes.
have this is that certificate of authorization, there's one signature
Yep.
here. And then.
Alright.
I'll be here in 15 minutes.
Alright, I'll let you two just take a look, I just
That's just the
signed the
authorization.
authorization. Ken, while we're
You ready?
waiting for them, is there anything else that you wanna,
We did the hiring,
Mhm.
hiring already on the new
Mhm.
business.
the Sand Lake correction may take a
Yeah, that
bit,
might take a
yeah.
couple minutes.
And
Yeah.
it's actually more linked to the 2026 warrant articles
Okay.
now, so.
Yeah,
I'll go over the, let's see,
We
Oh,
did
one-
highway
one
hiring.
quick one.
Yeah.
I think it might be, we haven't scheduled, but I think it might be appropriate to try and get the budget committee back in January
Okay.
before we do a public hearing.
yep,
Our first meeting in January is the 5th. I don't know if we will have all the year-end numbers in by then. I'm thinking we may have to do this on an off week, because I don't know that we should wait till the 19th to do it.
makes sense.
We run into having to post the public hearing for the budget.
Yep.
And if the budget committee says, if they're adamant that they want you to change something and you agree,
Yep.
we don't wanna post a public hearing with a budget number and then have to change it. So I guess we're looking at the week of the 12th.
Yep,
And I don't know what your schedules look like, but, and you can get back to me tomorrow or Wednesday, or Cal, in the next couple of days and let us know.
okay,
But I think it would be a good idea,
Oh, yeah.
given all the issues about wages, the police department, the step increases, all those other things that we've been talking about.
yep. The only, I guess, two things, the planning board meeting is the 13th.
Yep.
In the evening, and you and I have that meeting on the 15th,
Right,
so,
right.
other
Just
than
can't do
that,
Friday, that's the only day I gotta go to Rhode Island for a hockey
okay,
tournament,
yep,
so.
okay,
and I
So
won't be back until the
planning
19th.
board seems like Tuesday, I've got energy on Monday and, community power on Wednesday and conservation on Thursday, but all those, CPCC, Wednesday would be the least one I could do, but I don't have to go to that. Except I'm there, I take their minutes.
Right,
Scott, you said no on,
No, on Tuesday,
you.
because that's planning board.
right,
right,
is Wednesday open to you, the
it
14th?
is, yep,
Calvin?
I'm no Friday, but I can do any other day.
alright,
Wednesday's not, just somebody else have to take the minutes on, for community power. So,
Okay,
They
so
can do
we'll
that.
tentatively schedule for the 14th?
yep.
okay,
You think an evening, I assume?
Yeah.
Yeah.
same, like 6, or when do you wanna do it? Or try to?
Probably 6 o'clock would be,
6.
it seems to work better for budget committee.
Yeah. Alright, so Wednesday the 14th, 6 p.m. Alright,
We're organizing our calendars, just a minute, hello.
It's okay.
We are,
yeah, exactly.
14th. Oh, January 14th, look at that already.
Yep,
Right there, 2026 now.
that's it.
Alright,
Ready?
yeah,
Ready?
I am,
Okay.
I am.
Ken, you ready? Yep. Alright. So good evening, all, and thank you for coming. We appreciate it. It's good to always have a chance to talk, so here we all are talking. So the reason we asked to talk to everyone tonight, the budget committee has recommended and we've agreed to fund the library at the $265,000 mark for the year. I think you may have been aware of that already, but I guess this is official. So we wanted you to be aware of that. And obviously, we've got some back and forth communications on funding. And the concern that we have, and we've expressed it, I think, at least the last couple of years I've been on the select board, is the use of the trust fund to supplement the library. And the concern is, what happens if things go south with the economy and you can't fund the library anymore? It then falls to the Canterbury taxpayers. And that, I think, in a nutshell, is at least my concern, and certainly Beth and Calvin, feel free to state any other concerns that you have.
Right,
I mean, I think one of my biggest concerns, you know, and this walks hand in hand with the police department as well, is what's the 5-year projections, the 10-year projections? I think Rick was here last time when we spoke to Rachel, and she didn't seem to have an answer as to whether or not there was a cap, a salary cap or a wage cap. So just being cautious of what that could look like 5, 10, 15 years down the road, and if that trust does not have enough funds to cover it, we're just concerned about what the impact on the taxes would be for the residents.
This is over $14,000.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go to my money line right away. If you're willing to die on that hill for $14,000, I'm not sure that this town is willing to do that. I mean, the library is a wonderful thing. It's one of the most positive centers of town. You know, we have the school, you know, when kids are at the school, that's a wonderful center. My kids aren't there anymore. up the hill, and so I gravitate towards the library, towards the church, towards the store. And it strikes me just as a citizen, that $14,000 is a really lousy hill to die on. And I mean, the trust is very healthy. It's $642,000, $642 and $387. And I realize that you guys are in between a rock and a hard place. I mean, I've sat there.
Yep.
And but I don't think that paying attention to percentages, as is your wont, is a good thing to do. I think pay attention to the dollars. And it's 14 grand. And I mean, weatherization warrant article last town meeting was 20 grand. And we spent 12 of it. And then
We spent 8, we gave them back 12.
we gave you guys back 12 and we spend 8. And for 2 grand more, which is short money, we're talking about the 14. And so I think this is penny wise and pound foolish. But, you know, I have a dog in the fight. And I think that by and large, if we can get the library staff, including the director, to a livable wage, that the 3 or 4% COLA, 2.8% or whatever the COLA is, will be fine from then on. And I think that the amount that the trust has to kick in for the library can be reduced incrementally once we have hit that living wage. I mean, if you look back at 2014, almost 10 years ago, Rose, the circulation manager of the library, was making $10 an hour. I can't imagine asking somebody to work for, even 10, 11 years ago, to work for $10 an hour. And I mean, I think that's the crux of it, is the 14 grand.
So is the trust, how much is the trust contributing for 2026, for the 14 grand?
No, it's 23,946.
Yeah, that's what I,
23,946.
okay.
On the wages, we're matching the 14 grand.
Yeah.
Right, and
If you look at the percentages, it's some ridiculous percent, which I don't understand why we do that on our town budget. Because you're comparing something to itself. If you're gonna use percentages, compare it to here's what the library wants, here's the percent of the town budget overall, because then you're comparing the police and the library and the transfer station all to the same thing. Saying the library wants a 20% increase, that doesn't mean anything to anybody. So I can tell you I want a 100% increase, it might only be $5, they're gonna say, big deal, it's $5. They don't say, oh my god, it's 100%.
I got you, man.
And you say,
I understand
police
what you're
department wants a
saying.
9% increase,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean anything to anybody, it's just not dollars.
Yeah,
So I haven't understood that since I lived here, it's only been 15 years, but I haven't understood that since I've lived here, why they do that percentage thing on the town budget.
yeah. But this, I guess for me, once again, I'm just gonna speak for me, and I'd like the other two to participate as well. This isn't about the raises. As I see the select board's role, we're deciding on kind of an amount for the library. And what you do with that amount is what you're supposed to be doing. So for me, it's not about raises. It's just about, it's about the amount that was recommended by the budget committee, that we're going with.
Well, you said a number, 265,
Correct.
so
I'm taking, you've got the number in front of you and I do not, so
well,
I'm
I'm just
taking
trying to
that.
figure out
Correct.
what isn't getting, because we didn't increase anything except for wages from 24 to 25. Are you
Except for
taking more money?
telephone, which,
Are you taking
And
more money
electricity.
from 24? We already gave you 6% last year, I don't know if anybody else did, but we gave a negative 6%, if you want 2%. So is it gonna be another negative something percent this year for the library budget?
I don't remember what it was last year.
I got it right here.
The last year's budget
Yeah.
was the
Yeah,
library's
yeah.
budget.
Yeah,
I'll just wanna,
No, thank you, I've got
Library
one too.
expenses was
Tell me the page.
257,971.
I don't have it.
okay.
It was on, it's on
Yeah.
one of these, I saw it tonight.
Yeah, so Ron, it's more than it was last year.
hang on. Yeah, 257, so you're gonna give us
Yeah.
$8,000 more?
That's correct, to 265.
Okay, so now we're talking about $6,000 difference, we're asking you what you wanna give us?
No, so as I said, the issue we're having is the use of the trust fund without any guarantees that it's gonna continue. If the market takes a dive next year and all of a sudden you're not sitting on your funds and you can't fund this, then it falls to the Canterbury taxpayers. That's our concern, and I think that's supposed to be our concern, is the Canterbury taxpayers.
And I would chime in to say it doesn't, you know, I don't think we need to be painted as people who don't appreciate the fact of what a great place the library is. This is not our opinion that the library is not great, because it is, and we start with that supposition. So the fact that we need to look at all the departments and the bottom line, this is difficult for me, but that's our charge. So we're trying to make it all work out at the end.
So nobody gets a living wage.
Well,
This
it's,
isn't about wages, Rick.
Can I have something?
This is about a funding amount for the library. The Board of Trustees decides on wages for the library. We don't. You do,
but
yeah.
here's the other problem I have, when I look at all the information that's provided between how the wages compare to the libraries that you compare us with.
Can I sit up here and talk to him?
Okay with us.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure, I don't see, I have a problem making the math work to how we're so different as to be embarrassing compared to other towns, because the numbers to me don't look that different. So if you can explain that, I'd appreciate it, but the numbers, you know, when you look at them all together, they seem pretty similar if those are the towns that you're comparing us
What are we
with.
comparing to now?
Well, if you're comparing us to the towns that we are traditionally been, Andover, Chichester, Dunbarton, New Hampton, and Webster.
Yes. Okay,
So-
if you look back where the library comparisons are,
Mm-hmm.
we added some numbers in there to put a little more reality in there.
Okay,
we put in the size of the collection that they're managing, and ours is a lot higher than the other towns. We're looking at the number of patrons that come in there, individual patrons, and it's almost 3 times that of Chichester. It's double everybody else. If you look at the number of hours that were open, it's a lot higher than everybody else. If you look at the number of programs that we give each year, it's a lot higher than everybody else. So if we're gonna compare apples to apples, let's look at the whole apple, not just
No, and
little pieces of it.
I've got all those numbers here, but again, just if we're talking,
Our numbers that are penciled in at the bottom, okay.
Do you guys have this one that says cost per hour of operation? Is that on yours,
I
or is
don't
that
know,
just on?
anybody give
I
that to us?
think we gave him a copy.
Cause on this one in the comparison, Andover is $60.55 per hour,
I did-
Chichester $72.50.
Okay, now hang on.
That
Hours that
Michelle
they're
was here
open,
earlier,
or hours in the whole total
What it
year?
costs for the hour it's open, the cost of
So now look at,
Canterbury
Right
is $141.90.
Yep.
the one.
Just.
yeah, no, you look at this too. So you said Chichester is open,
this is taking the budget of the library
No,
and the
no,
hours that you're
they're
open.
open 1,200 hours. Canterbury's open 2,100 hours.
Right, and
So
then
do
the
that
cost,
math.
exactly, it's $141 per hour in Canterbury at the 2,100 hours, and it's $72.53 for the 1,200 hours. That's
So
what it's
you had
funded.
these numbers, what
Yes.
were they on this chart? 'Cause I didn't see them anywhere, that's we wrote them in.
I believe Ken came up with this with the hours versus the operational
So-
hours divided by
Yeah,
the.
these are the
One of-
numbers that were
yeah,
used.
Members of the budget committee sent this to us.
Okay,
But what did they use for hours open, is what I'm asking.
The hours that,
Hours from hours from the data sheet that provided by the library.
the Excel sheet that's
The Excel
got,
sheet that Rachel sent me.
that has the hours listed,
'cause
so we,
essentially
And you'll see
Canterbury
there's
is double the rate.
Rick, on the one that I gave, that you just got, at the bottom, it's highlighted.
Yeah.
And it says, it said public service hours on that spreadsheet, and I wasn't sure what that meant. So I did, open hours, and you'll see, it's not a huge difference, but it is a difference. But I just wanted to make sure that that was noted.
Okay.
But public service hours is right from that spreadsheet that, I was sent.
it's got all, it lists all the
Lists all
libraries
the
in New
libraries,
Hampshire.
Yeah.
So that was just another way for us to look at it, but that's the state listing of how the hours are open and then the budgets for those libraries. So
Does it say-
that was just another way to look
Does
at
it
it.
say square footage of the library? How many
It was
go
just
in
the
there
common
every year?
denominator of how many, what it costs to run a particular library. Because everything else is so, to me, so changeable. Like the square footage or the collection or the people through the door, that all is part of the library, as well as the quality of the library, of course, that's huge. But just dollars per cents, which is part of what the budget committee is looking at. If you look at what it costs to run a library, any library, for the hours that they're open, that's what we were looking at, and those are the numbers here. That's from the state, all the state information about the libraries, that's all. It was just another way to look at how the library compares to the libraries around us.
Okay. And then I just wanted to get back to the dollars again real quick. So the 2025 budget was 257,971, right, Ken?
Yes.
Okay, and you said you're gonna let us have how much out of the town?
265.
Okay, so that's $7,000 more than last year, right? And seriously,
Oh, wait,
nobody
what's
cares
that?
about the
What packet is that?
$12,000 we gave back to the town that you probably really didn't even have to. Rachel busted her butt to get that grant.
Yeah, of course we care, Ryan, come on.
But that doesn't show up anywhere in the town budget, is what I'm saying. Does it say library gave us back $12,000?
I don't know that it's ever called out that way.
That's why.
I guess I would say that if you look at in the years past, what other departments have returned or gone unspent, then that $12,000 compared to the fire department is giving back, I'm not sure, I'd have to look at the numbers, the final numbers. but they're giving back, or they're not spending at least that much, if not more. It depends on the years, what happens. That energy efficiency program was a one-time, event for the library.
It's nice in there now, but.
I get it,
It
no,
is,
and I think it was dollars well spent, I guess, from my perspective as the kind of business manager of the town, I look at all the numbers and how we compare to other towns of our size, using demographics and budgets. And I don't know how else to do that in a fair way. I think I've negotiated union contracts with large cities. And I think this is how most municipalities do budgeting, is compare themselves to other municipalities of the same size. I'm on a listserv for the town administrators of New Hampshire, and every year at this time, the emails go back and forth. What are you giving for raises? What's this person make? What are the wage scales here? And we all compare ourselves, and we look at the demographics of the town and try and compare ourselves to those towns that are similar. You're never gonna be able to get apples to apples, but
I think the percentages.
if we have to look at demographics, these are the towns we've chosen and used over the last 6 or 7 years. And one thing that stands out on this comparison is that the operating expenses of the library is 3 times that of the other libraries that are listed here, of the other towns that are listed. That's the operating expenses. Now, a portion of that operating expenses is the trust fund, so you could take that trust fund money out of there, but then it's still over 2 times the amount of the operating expenses for those other towns. And we look at not just the library, we look at fire, we look at police, we look at highway. So we look at everything, and we try and list it all out and provide all that information to the selectmen and the budget committee, so they can make that comparison and determine how much money the town, the taxpayers can afford. I try to keep this as benign as possible and take no personalities into account. It's all numbers. And that's how I operate. My wife worked at the library for 17 years. I appreciate it. But at the same time, I have to look at the numbers, and that's what I provide. So.
Okay, so if last year, if we wouldn't have went -6 on our budget, we would've went like 2% positive, how much would you be giving us this year? Less than what we asked for last year? Because we gave you a 6% cut last year, that's how we get to the 257. If we wouldn't have cut that 6%, we probably would have been at about 270.
Every department cut.
No, they didn't.
No.
No, they.
Well, every
no, they
every department, let's put it this
Only-
way.
Let's look at
Only
one
one
of the
other.
percentages I can show you, the police department didn't cut, the fire department cut. The dump
Only
didn't
the
cut,
fire
the
department.
highway department didn't cut. I looked through this morning, it was crazy, the police chief got a 9% pay raise last year.
Because he went full-time,
Oh, well, but it's just a 9% pay raise.
so that's to be comparable with
The
the other towns.
EMT went up by 13%, the police chief put in, what, a 5% pay raise again this year?
But we haven't approved that yet.
Well, I'm just saying, that's what he asked for.
But what you need to understand too is I understand you're passionate about this and we all enjoy the library.
I'm trying not to slip into marine talk,
No,
I'm
I-
sorry.
Trust me, I'm in the same boat, and the fact is, the police are the next ones that we have to talk to about their raises too, so it's not, we're not singling the library out of the trustees. You just happen to be the first one in the block, in the
Yep.
chute to get the discussion with. It's, as the select board, and I'll speak for myself on this, is I am trying to be cognizant of what we can do in town to keep the numbers down, what's gonna be coming through the school district next year, and how to keep this town affordable. And at some point, sacrifices have to be made, and some departments won't be happy. That's the reality of life, and sometimes it's not the departments you want, it's not the way you wanna cut it, but if $7,000 is the hang up point, and that's $7,000 that we save, or we can put towards something else,
Now,
That's the
does
tricky
this
part.
265 including insurance and all that stuff too? I don't know what those numbers are yet. I haven't seen the insurance numbers on the budget.
We we're not counting the insurance because we don't know what it's gonna be.
But if insurance and retirement ends up being $50,000, that's gonna be added to the
Well,
265, not
I think
taken away from
retirement
it.
is in there, but not the insurance.
Well, I don't know
It's
what
the
insurance is
healthcare.
gonna do this year, so.
We don't know.
Nobody
anything.
does.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we just
I'm
had the
still under
sign-ups last
discussion.
week, we haven't done all the calculations yet.
So insurance isn't gonna make our budget go down any more than the 265 once you pay that insurance, right?
That was, I think that was the direction from the budget committee.
Yeah.
And so, am I allowed to ask, like, you guys are all exactly feel the same on this, or is that like for a vote at one of these meetings? You're good with all of this, you have no qualms about it whatsoever, you and you? I know you go to the library a lot, I'm not really sure if anybody else does.
Going to the library and my determining how to pay the library are two different things. Because when I go to the library, I'm just Beth Blair, your neighbor up the road, and sometimes I go in with my select board hat on. But I have to be careful for all the departments. I find that hard, because I do love the library, but I also like to have a good police department and fire department. So it's a difficult balancing act for all of us, and quite frankly, sitting in Ken's office and watching department heads come through last year and go through their budgets and redline things and say like, oops, well, we can't really take that out. We only bought one tire last year, but there's a possibility we're gonna have to buy like 4 tires this year for our cruisers. So I think it's a little, the cutting happened before the budget was ever seen. Everybody went through, including the library,
Yeah, we
and
went from
chose
285
things
to
that they could
257.
do without to bring it down. And we brought it down from, we aimed at what, 4% last year?
86, we went from 285 to 257, so I thought we did a pretty good job.
Yeah, well,
I mean, is there other ways that the library can save in terms of, can you reduce hours, can you offer 10 less programs? And I'm not saying I wanna see it gone, but is there tiny things that you guys could do
Well,
with
the programs get funded by the
Programs
state
are
humanities
funded
and
by
the, yeah, you guys
And the
don't have
Friends,
money
which is
for
great.
programs.
$500 is
I mean,
the program, the budgeted program.
the biggest things on here is wages and health insurance, the next biggest thing would be $8,000 for books, magazines, materials for the whole year.
Well, I mean, I think last meeting we brought it up, I asked Rachel, when Mary Ellen and Mary Ann are gone, what are you looking to do for that position? And she sort of hinted at potentially a full-time position. Another full-time employee is a lot of money. You gotta think of health, bennies, everything like that. It's not just an hourly, part-time job. So it's one of those things where I'm trying to think,
But you're asking
speaking from-
hypothetical, we don't know what's gonna happen.
no.
We don't know, but that's part of the equation too, is you have to think, what's 3 years down the road? What is the potential if we have 4 full-time librarians or library employees working there? Is that gonna cost the town $300,000 in wages and benefits a year? Can the town sustain that in 4 years? Can the town sustain that with a step program with the police? Like, there's a lot of things we have to think about, and unfortunately, I think what the budget committee wants to do is cap it for now. Let's see how we can make everything work.
No, but you're
Set-
setting a precedence, and that's not, and then next year you're gonna say, oh, well, it worked good last year, let's do it again this year. 3 years down the road, yeah, we haven't needed it for 3 years, why do we need one now?
And that's true, that's a hypothetical, we don't know,
And what happens if the trust fund triples in the next 5 years and we can afford the wage increase? I mean, you can play hypotheticals all day long.
we can, but I mean, that's part of the budgeting process, is we have to think, next fire truck, that's 1.5 million probably.
And how many fire trucks do we need?
Well, they're on a cycle, everything's on a cycle, so how do you save for the next one if, there's $7,000 here that we could put extra on that? It's not a matter of picking and choosing or bullying one department, it's how can we keep this town affordable and livable? Where do we have to pull some from, where do we have to think ahead, how do we do the whole process? And like I said, my family loves the library, my wife donates thousands of dollars of books to it every year. I am pro-library, it's just, I'm in a position now where I have to think, what's in the best interest of the taxpayer, how can we move stuff around, where can we take the least and give the most? So it's just a push and shove, and I don't think anybody here is anti-library by any stretch, and we're just trying to echo the sentiment of what the budget committee, directed us to do, so I think we're trying to open the dialogue
Well,
with still.
recommended, not directed, but
Well, yeah, but, we've got 6 weeks, 8 weeks to kind of divvy this out, and I think we're being proactive in having this conversation, and, maybe we can make something work somewhere else, but we're trying, so.
Can I ask the trustees a question though? Are you surprised by the number of the cost per hour to operate the library compared to the people that we
I
normally?
didn't really run those numbers, so I don't know, I'd have to look at all the numbers you guys have and.
So Andover, cost per hour is $60.55. Chichester is $72.53. It's, I don't know if you guys got it on that one, it's not highlighted.
Here, take the,
No, I have one of those, I don't see that on there,
It's
where
a
is that?
different thing.
Ah, there it is, okay, now, no, I don't, that's why it's a different sheet, gotcha, okay.
so I'm just curious if you find that number surprising, because I did. I'm not sure, how to think about it,
Well,
or why it would be.
hold on, so public service hours, 884.
Mhm.
Our public service hours are 3 times that. So 3 times 60 is not 180, so we're still, you wanna average it out.
Well, that's
No,
the
that's
average
cost per hour.
That was
Cost per
Oh,
hour.
okay, gotcha, alright.
So to step into the Chichester Library for an hour, or to run it over the course of the year is $72, and we're 141.
It's a one-room library.
Cost per hour, I don't know how else to, it may be one room. Technically, you could say our library is one room. But I'm just curious, that's just part of the equation. I'm not looking at that number as the be-all and end-all. I just found it astonishing. And I'm just wondering if you do, and if you can explain to me more why it might be.
Right now, no, because this is the first time I've seen it, so.
Okay. If you wanna think about it and let me know, cause that to me is a helpful piece of information, to know about how to think about this.
I'm somewhat surprised,
Okay.
but not shocked.
I mean, it's more akin to Meredith. If you do the same, the
And I
same
think the biggest difference
calculations,
is the
but,
staff of Canterbury, how many staff we have working at a time seems to be from what I've looked at, comparing the other town websites and the amount of employees, that seems to be the big difference, is we have 3 to 4 people in there.
Okay, now that's where you have to look at how many people come in, how many books we have, how many programs we run, which you didn't look at, so now you're making another comparison that you don't have all the data.
No, we have all the data, you guys sent it to us, I'm just saying, like, when you break down the hours, it's cause we got 4 people in there at any given time versus 1 or 2.
Yeah,
And the
so
wages, when you're paying for.
If we were back in the old Elkins building, which I loved,
Yeah.
but you could get away with fewer staff.
Mm.
Because you had fewer people that were like coming in, reading systems, et cetera, it was a much more compressed area. So just when you think about coverage, if you think of like, and this is probably not the right way to think of it, but what I'm thinking of is like retail. You know, you need to have 2 people to run the register at retail at Christmas, or whatever it may be, just to have staff available, to have programs available, et cetera. So I think when we're looking at some of those comparisons, it's probably some of those other details that unless we physically go to those libraries, we wouldn't know yet.
but is it double?
Andover had.
I don't know, that's why I was surprised,
Hang on.
so,
Last year, Andover had 6,340 people that came in. Canterbury had 14,558. That's over twice as much. Chichester had a whopping 3,605 people come in the library all of last year, which is 5 times less than Canterbury. Dunbarton had 6,900, call it 7,000, half of Canterbury's. New Hampton had 5,000, almost a third of Canterbury's, and Webster had 1,500 people, 10 times less than Canterbury. So servicing more people, you need more people to service those people.
How do you calculate those numbers? Is it by?
They're
No,
right
no, I
here.
mean, is it by book checkout? Is it by walking in the door?
by-
It's from the library
Going
telling
in the
the
door, okay.
New Hampshire Library Association how many people they had come in.
I just wasn't sure if it's a clicker or an
No, if
automated.
somebody walks in, you'll see rows make
oh
a
yeah,
Okay,
no, they
marker,
keep,
and all the libraries
like we do at the
that.
farmer's market, same
Okay.
thing,
Exactly.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're twice as high is almost 3 times higher than most of these other libraries that you're comparing. So if we have 3 times as many people, our operating costs, there's no way it can be the same. No way we can have the same amount of staff. We have more books. Every year they go through every single book and look at how many times has it been checked out, do we need to get rid of it, donate it to the, whatever they call the book thing at the fair. So we've got 21,000 books. The next closest one would be Dunbarton with 17,000 books. If you want to Andover, they've got 13,000, so we've got 50% more books than Andover. So we've got more books, we have more people.
And I think for me personally, just, it's a perfectly appropriate question to ask, like, how does that comparison, where is this coming from? But, you know, just thinking of it for myself, I would hate to see the library have fewer hours, have fewer staff. I've seen how, you know, it works on a day-to-day basis, so while on one hand, I completely agree that that's one way that you can compare, I don't know if it actually states the value of the library to the town by comparing it with a different library. Like, we don't know what the usage is, how the town is, you know, using it for kids that are coming down after school and spending an hour or two, you know, whatever it may be. So, yeah, I completely get that this is a bunch of fish. But I think that, you know, just from my own perspective, and I've only been here 23 years, so I know I'm new. But I have never regretted a penny of my tax dollars that have gone to the library, including when they went and did this investment in this new building. So I just think about it in terms of those pieces, those factors. And do I feel, as I'm an alternate now as opposed to full-on trustee, but, you know, when I look at this budget, this makes sense to me based on the utilization, based on the experience, et cetera, and what I perceive to be the value.
It is a high value item, and that's for sure.
And I did want the libraries open on Fridays and longer on Saturdays, and Rachel said there's no way they can do that because it's not in the budget. So I did want the library open more hours.
Me too.
Well, I'm off on Fridays, so I can't even go to the library.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
closed.
difficult if, you know, the library's a somewhat different animal. You know, we compare ourselves in a lot of ways to these towns that we've mentioned around us. I don't think we've ever heard what other libraries we should be comparing ourselves to. But it's hard to remove that piece of the equation and say, let's just look library to library and not look at the entirety of the town, because it's still all gotta work together. So, you know, you might look at a town like Bow, if you wanted to look at the dollars per hour to run the Bow Library is $229 an hour.
You know, what's Nashua, that's gonna be out of its mind.
Yeah, so, you know, like, but, you know, again, there's the quality. What do you want to compare yourself? You want the quality of a Moulton Borough library? Quality wise, sure, they cost $276 to.
Moulton Borough Library isn't much, I was just there Saturday.
That was one that Rachel said that she thought it would be nice to be like.
Yeah, it's not
all
even
right,
close
but
to
it's-
being like a big gigantic library like Nashua or Manchester.
All right, it's $276 an hour to run it, regardless. So, you know, again, that's one piece of the equation, but I still, you know, we're trying to think of all different ways to look at it to make it work. The wages are part of it, and, you know, the wage numbers from those libraries, from the towns that we've traditionally compared ourselves to, you know, I can't see that it's that out of line from in that mix. So if there's other libraries we should be looking at, it would be good to know, but with the information that we have in hand, I'm not saying that I wouldn't love to give everybody more, but, you know, we have to, well, you know.
But we're gonna go from, you're recommending 257 to 265, right? For the budget for the library for 2026?
That's the
And that's
number, yeah.
not adding in the insurance or anything yet.
No, the insurance would, because we don't know the insurance
Right.
number, right, so it's not
Correct.
included.
Correct. I'm just curious, what do the trustees see as a living wage for each position? And like, long-term, what do you see each position, I guess?
It's in that package.
Pardon, is it?
No, we.
I saw the
showed-
wage increases, but I guess I'm saying, like, I asked Rachel, you know, is there a cap, is there a
Yeah.
future?
Why did I keep losing that document? Did you take mine?
No,
Next page.
Well, what the hell did I do with it then?
Did I miss it? There's so many pages.
Yeah, no kidding, tell me about it.
Calvin, did you take mine?
No, your pictures,
I know.
did I take them?
I think you did, because I don't have.
So this brings her to what she considers a livable wage, and you can see what she thinks we can get for everybody for pay raises going over until 2031. So this
Alright,
is,
here we
this is the big jump right here,
Right,
and then everything just goes normal after that.
Yeah, well,
okay.
I mean, you know, quite honestly, some of these numbers, you can make more going to McDonald's, so we try not to lose the people that we have.
Right, I guess I'm trying to figure out like, not priority position, but children's
yeah, no,
librarian.
She's not gonna come in and ask for a 20% raise next year, then 20% raise the year after that, and no. Look, those are the numbers right there that she figured out.
Once the wage allowance, if you will, is reached, then we would be happy with the COLA. Once you reach that floor.
The only thing is sometimes COLA 3 years ago was 11%, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't get that.
VA gave us that, so. Well, you know, we wouldn't come in and ask for 11% raise just for that, the COLA wasn't, you know, it had to be something reasonable, so. But if you look at that, 2026 is what he's considering, and what we're considering livable wage, and then it's just incremental little pay raises after that.
The 4 libraries that are not comparative are Lyme, Grantham, Epsom, and Sandown and Antrim.
and what do you mean by not,
Those are not included in the library comparison with other towns.
and what were those again, please? Lyme, Grantham?
Lyme, Grantham, Epsom, Sandown, and Antrim.
And, why would you compare to them?
Only because the population of Grantham is a little bit more than, it's about, maybe 1,000 more. And Lyme, 1742 is the population. Epsom 4885, which is significantly higher than Canterbury's, but and those libraries are comparable, I think.
In what
Comparable,
way?
Yeah, thank you.
In what way comparable?
In terms of program attendance, visitors, and service hours. So,
And are they anywhere included in the packet that we just got, those 5 towns?
If you have that one sheet
It's
with
in
the
the
stuff written on the
email.
bottom,
It's
on
in the
back
email?
side of that.
Okay,
It's a penciled in page,
alright.
right next to it's next to the library, comparison page.
Thought I made everything go here. Projected, no.
Yes.
And with this that
I
we
think
just got.
this is on this,
Yes.
yep.
yeah.
And there's probably something written on the next page too, it all depends on how it's printed.
Oh, there we go.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Converse free, Lyme, Dunbar free, okay.
Yeah, I mean, the library's supposed to be free, I don't know what that doesn't mean, but.
What we don't have here, unless I don't see it, is what they're paying at their libraries. Do you have that information?
No.
We can get it.
That would be an important part of the conversation, I think. If you're comparing yourself to them and we're talking about wages,
No, we're talking about budget.
of which wages is
I
part.
guess-
So I don't wanna get too far off
My
track.
reaction to this is, Antrim's town budget is $5 million, Sandown's town budget is $5 million, over $5 million, same with Grantham. Is that where you want the town of Canterbury's budget at?
No, it doesn't matter what their town budget, their
Well, it
budget
does
could be
matter.
$25 million, what are
The
they
tax
paying
rate
the
in
library?
Molten Borough is $8.22
No, Ken, what
per
I'm saying is,
thousand.
I don't care what their total town thing is, what are they doing for the library?
Okay.
No,
Yeah, Marlborough is in an enviable position, the lowest tax rate in the state.
I guess my question is, what do you want the tax rate to be in Canterbury? And how that compares to the operating budget, because that's what sets the tax rate, is the operating budget.
and I don't know what their operating budgets are, I don't have them.
I said, $5 million for sand
The
down,
libraries,
no, this is the town operating budget, and that's what sets the tax rate.
but we're just talking about the library,
Pardon me?
we're just talking about the library, what is
Right,
Sandown's
but-
library?
We're not talking about just the library. We're talking about the entire town budget, the library is a part of,
Right.
so
But on
it all affects town taxes.
Right, but on that sheet we just looked at, you were comparing $60 for this library, $241 for this library. So we gave you 5 more libraries, what are their operating costs per hour?
I don't know what hours.
I don't have that.
But the towns we were comparing are towns that are similar to us in all other ways, not like Antrim, I guess, which as you say is got a much bigger operating budget. I mean, it'd be interesting to look at it. I don't, again, I can only rely on the fact of the towns that we've traditionally budget-wise and operating costs for the town compared ourselves to, not just library.
We were just looking at libraries,
I know that.
the upper, okay?
But we can't.
No, I agree.
I mean, with us coming in at 265, would the trustees be willing to make up the $7,000 difference to accomplish the wage step?
I thought you guys had heartache with that too, though. I thought you guys had heartache with that too.
Well, I'm saying, will the trustees spend the additional $7,000 to bring them up to their wage steps with the understanding that COLA every year? Would you be willing to make the step and cover it, and then the town does the COLA long-term?
I think we'd have to have a meeting.
Yeah, we have to-
I just didn't know if you discussed that or not, or why
We didn't know that was gonna be an option, so.
I'm just trying to find ways to make this work where we keep everybody happy and we keep retain the
No,
libraries.
that's why I said, look, we're only off by 7,000, so.
I just feel like that's a hard number this year, it's probably 265 is the number. I'm just not sure if you guys are willing to go the additional 7 to kind of keep everything where you.
But then, when you do your percentages on the town budget, someone's gonna go, how come they're getting a 300% pay raise?
Well, that's why we got town meeting, we get to explain the percentages. Like I said, it's not just the library that's in the crosshairs seemingly, I know it seems that way right now, but everybody's in the same boat.
When does this get, when you put it in, cause our next meeting's not till January, it's probably gonna be too late, right?
It will be January when, I don't remember the exact date
Our
off the
next
top of my
meeting is
head.
January 26th.
Right. What is it, the 19th, that's a
I
holiday?
think that's too late for our purposes.
We have to post the public hearing for the budget, and the public hearing is the first meeting in February, and we have to be 2 weeks or at least 10 days before that.
So we should have a special meeting.
What if we just go to the week before the 19th and make it the 12th, a regular meeting? Does the 12th work?
Should you meet with us, Ron? Is that what you're suggesting?
No, you won't.
We have a meeting to see. if
Oh,
we can
I
best
understand, okay.
Do,
It's-
I don't know your name, I'm sorry.
Calvin.
Calvin, his suggestion, so.
It makes sense to me,
So you
yeah.
want 112, then we can come back and tell them what we met on.
Yeah,
Cause we have a
Yeah.
tentative budget meeting, what do we say, the 15th, 14th?
14.
14.
Oh, it's up to that then, okay.
yeah.
That's
And,
what it went
once
to.
again, it's not up to us to tell you how to spend your trust fund.
No,
But I think, Calvin was just trying to be helpful and throw out an option. So. Anything else?
I hate budgets.
Well,
That's why I'm not on the budget committee.
yeah, it's, as I think you figured out, for you and us. This is the lousy part of being a selectman, and it's the lousy part of being a
Well, of course,
library
if that's
trustee.
when we get their school bill this year, it's gonna be your fault, so.
yes,
I get it.
you do get it,
Yeah.
clearly, and
Yeah,
I
it's
know
like
Rick,
exactly,
you get it.
so I
So,
get it.
yeah.
What?
Yeah.
At least the last one went down, I don't know why, but thank you.
Well, honestly, because we used $500,000 from, that's why
To
it went
buy
down.
it down.
Yeah, so,
And we did it this year too.
Well, escrow was surprised, hey, look, what do you want?
yeah, that's why it went down.
So we're not adverse to trying to help the residents
Yeah.
for either tax dollars or great services at the library.
Yeah,
That was something we could do
Yeah.
comfortably.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we can't charge people to use the library, we
Right.
make money doing that.
right,
No,
but
but-
believe me, nobody up here is anything but a huge fan of the library. This is not an easy thing for any of us to be sitting up here talking about, so. But here we are.
So you're going to meet again when, please?
The 12th, I think.
Well, as long as we okay with everybody else.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
right.
have to make sure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pencil it in with a question mark.
It's a Monday.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So
but
you
that's,
want us to come on the 14th and talk to you guys again, or just let you know what we did?
Probably not, because we gotta do the budget
Okay,
committee,
we'll just let
Correct.
you know on the 13th
Yeah.
then, how's that?
yeah, that'd be great, yeah,
that would work out.
yeah,
We'll
cause
send
then
Rachel
we'll
to your
know,
office.
yeah.
That wasn't a threat, that was just a suggestion.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
As
I
said.
didn't understand like what was going on and.
No
I just,
worries,
you know, they didn't like the budget.
I understand
Why?
old Marines, so,
Yeah, I think you're going to be embarrassed at town meeting.
you may be right,
That's,
wouldn't be the first time I've been embarrassed,
no,
It was the last.
yeah, it won't,
but I think we can make a case for why we might be embarrassed. And it, as you say,
yeah, and I think, Rick, you know, I've been in public service for 40 years now. And it literally is not probably in the first 1,000 times I've been embarrassed.
No,
But, you know, certain things that, you know, I think our job sitting in these chairs is to try to keep a handle on the budget.
Sure.
And as Calvin said, it isn't just the library. You know, we're looking at the budget unilaterally, so,
Rick, how many years were you selectman in,
yeah,
Three.
you know, yeah,
3?
yeah.
Loved all three of them.
Sandwich?
yeah,
Yeah,
yes,
my
actually,
wife would.
two of them.
all right,
Well,
thank
Thank
you
you.
all, appreciate your
Thank
time.
you.
Is this the last thing you guys have to talk about now, or?
Not quite.
No,
We're gonna
no.
stay a while longer.
You're welcome to stay if you want.
Yeah.
Please, come stay.
Thank you, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
All right, thank
Thanks
you.
again.
I'm not, exactly sure what you were proposing that you do when they go to talk again, so Cal, if you have that scripted out, which I'm sure you do.
I just wanted them to make up the difference. We're capping at 265 was what the budget committee recommended. So they were saying it was a $7,000 difference for the wages. So I recommended they make up the $7,000 with the trust fund. And
For
then
one time to get them up to
to get
the,
them to their
to their living
fund it.
wage.
Fund their living wage,
Yeah.
and then over the years, the town will fund the COLA. You know, I think that's a somewhat compromise for now.
So instead of instead of giving it 14, it'd be more like 21. Towards the
No, it was almost 24,000 is what they're paying. in
total
wages.
paying in, so you're saying another 7 on
Yeah,
top
so
of
they'd be
that.
at 29.30.
Okay.
I mean, I just feel both parties we need to find compromise, and with there's being so much ambiguity budget-wise, not just in town, but with the school district this year, I think we need to be cautious.
Yeah,
Agreed.
I would
Like,
agree.
I appreciate the library, I really do, I just really don't, I don't wanna see trying to give it, an extra nickel here and a dime there, and then come next year, we go, holy moly, now we can't give anybody anything next year, and now we're flat, now there's no COLA because we can't afford it.
Right,
You know,
no,
it's-
I agree with that, and I would hope they would too. I still can't make the numbers quite work, but, hopefully by the next, go around, we will.
6 weeks.
Yeah.
What
Do you have
next?
something, Edgar?
Well, I just wanted to, I don't wanna say that. I think there was almost misunderstanding when he kept asking about the health insurance. Because you're saying it was capped at 265, but he was told, he took it as the health insurance not included on that, so it won't go up. So, I don't know if that needs to be clarified.
So I think that it would be my understanding, and this is your budget, so it was my understanding that it would be 265, and because we didn't have the healthcare numbers, then whatever the healthcare numbers is not included in that 260.
I would agree with that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we
I think
said,
That's
yeah.
how I interpreted it.
Yeah.
Oh, 'cause you were saying capped at 265.
But when the discussion went a little bit further and he was asking about health insurance, since we didn't have the numbers,
Yeah,
yeah, I think we would all agree with that.
yeah.
But
Sam Lake Trust Fund correction, the DRA.
Yep.
So this kind of has merged with the 2026 warrant articles, so
This paper right here.
Okay.
I think we should all have copies. So the.
no,
You
just being stupid again. Nope. Community power,
It was in your brightly colored folders.
I'm looking,
Oh, yeah, got it.
I don't
Single
got it,
page.
I don't got
That's
it.
the one, right, about,
It says,
formal title for the money from CPCNH?
Yeah, that's the first line.
Yeah.
Alright, this is library, hold on, I'm sorry, I don't see it, but I've got like 53 pages here, but I don't see, can
I think it's in your folder, Beth.
I know, but
Going
there's,
down,
but it's not,
keep going,
no,
keep going,
No.
keep going.
no, no, see Pacer, draft, minutes, that's all I
Okay, how
have.
about you take mine,
Or I
and
can-
just bring it up on my computer.
Alright, here you
Okay,
go.
thank you,
Okay.
sorry,
That's alright. So so if we just go in order for the warrant articles.
Yep.
So the first one is the CPCNH adder funds,
Yep.
so we've been told several things by the DRA. Did you find it?
I did, hand that back to Cal, please, thank you for your patience, alright, I'm ready.
And so this is the adder funds and the DRA said that the warrant article we did last year doesn't allow us to put the money into the CRF. It just created the Renewable Energy Capital Reserve Fund. It didn't allow us to take that 5,200 or whatever the number is now, that 5,200 from the adder funds and put it into the CRF. And that is correct, we didn't put that extra line in there. So this warrant article is to correct that, this warrant article is
Okay.
to say, we would like to put that 5,200, but because we don't know, we never, that is always growing incrementally.
Yep, hopefully
Um,
anyway.
Hopefully, we don't know the exact amount,
Yeah.
so we are approaching it the same way that we did with the Sam Lake warrant article that
Yeah.
we've been doing the last couple of years, where it's up to this amount.
Yep.
So up to 7,000, cause we think that's a reasonable, that 5,200 plus
Yeah.
whatever else might come in. The other thing you should know is that the DRA is currently telling us that the warrant article we did where we said appropriate raise and appropriate $1,000 to put into that new CRF, where the intent was raise that from taxes and put that in as just like a starter.
Right.
They disagreed, but I disagree back, so
Okay,
they,
It's staying there.
yeah,
it's staying, it's
Okay.
thank you,
Enough said,
just,
probably.
They want us, they think that $1,000 should come from the adder funds, but it shouldn't, and the paperwork I filled explicitly says where it's coming from, so I think they're wrong.
okay,
We can deal with that another time. So the only question here is if there's a formal title for that account that CPC&H has for us, but I can figure that out later,
Okay.
you don't need to think about that.
Alright,
Okay,
So then the next one is the veterans tax credit
Yep.
that Calvin talked about
Mhm.
previously. He
Yep.
worked with Mandy to come up with this. And I double checked the RSA and the language and everything and it checks out. So that's the veterans tax credit one.
okay,
The next two are the revolving funds for the police department details.
Yep.
There's the questions for legal are if we need to do it in two, if I did it correctly to separate it out into a PD one and a fire department one, cause
Yep.
both of those do details. So it makes sense to do the same thing for both of them. But if we want them in different accounts, we have to do two different warrant articles.
gotcha.
So I'm just gonna confirm with legal that it's correct.
Yeah, Cal, does where it says in quotes, providing ambulance services, is that from the RSA?
Yes, so the RSA gives you like
Yeah.
6 different options
Yeah.
for what you can make these accounts for. One of them says providing ambulance services or fire services or both. Then the one below it, C, says providing public safety services by municipal employees, yada yada, in connection with special events, highway construction,
Yeah.
et cetera. So, the stuff that we have our fire department do for details, I would consider that under C, because it's public safety
That's what I was thinking,
services
yeah.
for special events.
Yeah,
But technically, that B one says fire services, so I just wanted to check with the lawyer to make sure that
okay,
just because it's the fire and rescue department doesn't mean they have to be under that one.
Yeah. okay. I'm sure you were thinking the same thing as me,
I
but
think it's
yeah,
C.
yeah,
Yeah.
I do too.
Yeah,
So-
so C would be appropriate for both police and
C
fire?
would be appropriate
Yes.
for both, so if you
Okay.
look at the two, we have, it's
Yeah.
a pretty long one.
Yeah.
So one of them, it's public safety services by fire department employees, and the other one is by fire and rescue department employees, that's the only difference between the two, to try to separate those out.
Yeah.
So I would just confirm with legal that that is the correct way
Yeah.
to interpret that.
Yeah.
So then the last one is the thing that we kind of started with, which is the Sam Lake trust fund correction. So the saga with the Sam Lake trust fund is that a long time ago, first of all, a long time ago, Sam Lake died and left property and money to the town. And so that trust is managed by Citizens Bank, and the interest from that trust has been accumulating, and starting in like 2011 or something is when the IRS changed their rules and we had to start collecting that interest, because it was like a forced
It's
thing.
a forced distribution.
Right,
Exactly, so 2 years ago, we got a new DRA representative, and I was also new at the time, so like she and I struggled together through that first year. And she decided that we needed to have a warrant article in the warrant to
Good
say
Lord.
that we can accept that forced distribution. So that's what we've done the last 2 years, is have a warrant article saying up
Yep.
to $15,000, we will accept that and put it into the capital reserve fund for Sam Lake. This year, she changed, the interpretation is different now, and she ran this new interpretation by management and legal at the DRA, so I'm gonna go for this one, especially because it's easier for us long term.
good,
So we don't need that warrant article in the town report every year, but we can't put that money into a capital reserve fund, we need to put that money into an expendable trust fund.
okay,
So this is something that only Sylvia understands, but it's basically, it's just a different
So you
kind
take
of
money from a
account.
trust to put it in another trust so that we can spend it?
Exactly, yes, and so it makes
Okay.
it more correct, because like you can only spend it for certain things, and so trustee of the trust fund, Sylvia Stiles, did the math to figure out across all the years how much was put into the CRF that should have been put into the trust fund, and so we know like what needs to get transferred from one to the other. But it needs to be a warrant article at town meeting to approve the creation of the ETF
Yeah.
and move that money from the CRF to the ETF. So that's what
Okay.
this warrant article is.
Okay,
And I have amount highlighted because I don't exactly know what the number is, but
Right.
before the public hearing, when we have to talk about these, I'll have those.
Yeah. Yeah, cause at some point we'll get a number,
Exactly,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Cause the thing that's complicating it is that right now, the Stanley House garage renovation is happening, so there's actively money coming from the CRF and getting paid out.
Yeah.
So that's making the number complicated about where to put things.
Yeah.
now does this, once the money comes out of the Sam Lake Trust and goes into this newly established expendable trust fund, do the provisions of the trust still prevail?
Well, so that's another question that I've got for, in a note on here for
Yeah.
legal, cause there is that question that we have about, his will just says home place.
Yes.
And there has been that question about like, what exactly is home place?
Right.
Is home place just the building? Is home place the building and the garage? Is home place the building and the garage and the
And
yard?
the property,
Is it the
Yeah.
property? Is it all the property that he owned in the center? And so, I'm gonna ask legal if we have to sort that out before we can do this, because I just copied and pasted that weird language from his will into
Yeah.
this. So it says, for the betterment, improvements, or other purposes that might be brought about on Sam Lake's home place.
well, quite frankly, we need to get that defined clearly, because there are people who have not designs, but have eyeballed the money and thought maybe it could be spent on this, that, or the other thing.
Yeah.
On other things other than the buildings, because it says home place and that means everything, and so maybe we can build something else there, but that may not be the case, and I think we need to have that defined,
So we definitely need to have that defined,
but not
it's
not to
just-
make this happen.
Exactly, that's my
Yeah.
question, is do we need to
No,
have it
no, no.
defined for this? Because that potentially could even be like, it has to go before a judge or something to have a judge like rule on it, and we don't have time for that.
No, but at some point, if that gets on some floating to-do list, that,
I think I'll put it on next year's to-do
okay,
list.
thank you.
there you go.
You might wanna do it before the tricentennial. If we can. If I can put in a small time constraint.
Does anybody have questions on these?
No, thank you.
Other warrant articles you want?
You've got all the questions outlined that you need to have answered, and yeah,
Right,
that'll,
Great, then I'll just put it in the
yeah,
list that
and
I'm on.
I can't think of
Yep.
any other warrant articles that we've discussed.
Well, we're gonna have to do the dump truck,
Right, yeah,
Packer truck maybe,
Yep.
if that's what you wanna do.
yep,
Waste oil burner, there's other,
Right.
other
well, we have to,
capital expenses that you guys have to
Yeah.
decide on.
right,
and with the warrant article, if we do something about a Packer truck, include any other things that we're talking about doing at the transfer station, or would it just be Packer truck and a separate one for
Depends on-
anything else?
Yeah.
Depends on what it is,
So when do we actually decide that? Like, are we?
soon, very soon.
But, okay, so how? Do we need another work session? Do we need to actually sit down and say, this is what we're going to propose in that warrant, and this is exactly what we are saying we wanna do
Probably.
at the transfer station, because that's a biggie. So we need to
If you-
define that.
If you decide on that on your first meeting in January, then you can present that all to the budget committee on the 14th
That might be a
Then we
good time to
can-
do it, is that first meeting in January.
Do we,
because
can,
that's when we
Yeah,
have to
so-
notice it after the budget.
can we do it, can we, with our brains, do it in the middle of that meeting, or do we need to sit quietly at a work
We
session
can-
and just do it?
We can put that on the agenda and almost nothing else.
Alright,
I like that.
yeah,
okay,
You may have to do you'll have to do a payroll manifest and.
right,
And, you know,
Right,
those
but we
types of
could-
things,
yeah.
but we can keep everything else off the agenda for that.
but, and there's, there's no I shouldn't say there's no reason. Is there no reason why we can't do, make an outline of what we wanna consider before that time? We can't discuss it obviously between the three of us, but we can,
If you wanna do it individually and bring it all to that meeting, that would be the way to do it probably.
alright,
I gave you potential capital costs.
yep,
And we have minutes from all the discussions.
Yeah.
All that information is more or less available. And if you have any questions, feel free to call me.
Alright, so the budget committee, if needed, we have, scheduled for Monday the fifth
No.
of January.
No,
Monday the-
14th.
Yeah.
The 5th of January is the selectmen's meeting.
Right.
Right, but I had that the budget committee was going to be coming in, no,
No.
just on the
that's
14th.
Just the 14th.
Okay, then I will cross that out,
Yeah, I think we put that in tentatively in case we
Okay.
put them in January.
yeah, so we're going to do transfer station,
Yeah, I just didn't think we were gonna have enough time to get all the year-end things done for the 5th,
Right,
for the budget committee.
right.
And it's not gonna change a lot from when we met with them a couple weeks ago, but, I don't know.
Right, but on the fifth, we're gonna talk about everything budget, warrant
Fifth-
article
The
related.
5th, I think you
Yeah.
should concentrate, you
Yeah.
guys should concentrate on the budget,
Yeah.
the warrant articles,
Agreed,
and then bring it to the budget committee on the 14th.
correct. Here's what we've done.
Yes.
Let's talk.
budget and warrant articles, but transfer station the biggie. Well,
Not
a big
necessarily.
piece, a big,
Budget and warrant
big piece,
articles
Yeah,
encompasses everything.
right.
okay, got it. I need a bigger square already, I'm gonna make myself my own
Yeah.
calendar for next year,
You can
cause
do
this
that.
isn't working.
Alright. Anything further on that? I think that gets us set up
That
for.
gets us through the Sand Lake
Right.
Trust and the warrant articles.
Yep,
Just a quick update for Calvin, I already talked to Scott and Beth was there, the Merrimack County budget hearing on Friday. It was not quite as what I expected it to be. The whole delegation, the whole Merrimack County delegation was there, which is made up of the state representatives for each town in Merrimack Valley. There was an overview of the budget presented by the county administrator, and he asked if there was any questions, and I was the only one who
Can't
stood up and
have-
said anything.
Ken jumped up with his question.
I brought up Pennacott Rescue, and he said he wasn't prepared to talk about it at that time because he really didn't have all the information, and that should be taken care of during subcommittee meetings. I am in the process, I have our representatives to the delegations are our state reps, who we have a less than tenuous relationship with. But I am gonna contact them, and I will contact, there's 3 commissioners. They're each assigned in certain towns or districts. I will contact our district commissioner and ask them for guidance on how to get on the agenda for the subcommittee that talks about the budget, particularly about the EMS coverage for the county facilities.
Especially considering they're talking
Ours,
about adding 80
our
beds.
cost for Pennacott Rescue went up $2,700 this year. The town of Boston's went up almost $200,000.
Yeah.
The call volume for Pennacott Rescue to the county facilities is 43% of the call volume for the town of Boston. So almost half of the calls in the town of Boston go to the county facility.
And that's now, and they're talking about adding 80
And
beds.
the county wants to add 80 beds, renovate a building and add 80 beds. And a Alzheimer's dementia wing.
Does the
Memory
county
care.
do projections? If, I mean, it's a known fact New Hampshire's aging, are they looking at the
That's-
fact that boomers are
That's
aging out
why
now
they
as
wanna
well?
do that's why they wanna
Yeah,
do
it's
the
all
renovation.
doubling.
Well, I just meant in terms of the ambulance coverage and the amount of
They
ambulances.
did not figure ambulance coverage into any of this.
No, but we
Hey,
certainly
but
are
we got more
going to.
beds.
yep,
Well, no, their projection was the population over 75 was going to double in the next 10 years, and I forget
Yeah.
what the other one was, and we were like, hello, ambulance service.
right.
I have,
If you only got one ambulance running, it's
I know,
It's not enough.
it's not,
triage
not
them
even
all
close
and
to,
figure it out.
no. Probably use
So,
10 ambulances, but anyway,
anyway, I'm working on trying to get a hold of our delegation and the commissioner and work on that from our perspective. Cause my take on it was that if things continue as they are with the county not putting any money in or and the call volume really increasing, Pennacook Rescue is gonna either A, go out of business because they can't do it anymore. B, they're gonna add an ambulance, which is a significant cost increase to the towns of Canterbury, Bosquen and Salisbury. Or they're not gonna be available to have EMS calls to Canterbury.
Right.
And we'll have to find our own EMS provider, which is a significant increase.
Have we ever I know we just approved the Loudon deal.
Yes,
Have we ever talked to Loudon about potentially expanding their coverages?
we haven't, because everything's in flux right now. And at this point, we have a good relationship with Pennacook Rescue. It's a reasonable cost to the town, very reasonable
Very
cost to the
reasonable.
town.
And good service.
And
Yeah,
so
and
I
good
think
service,
that's
agreed.
something we have to, I think it would probably be a good idea to try and pursue that and continue the way we're going, unless that is just not.
Because
Gonna
Loudon
work
is already, if their calls come in on that side of town,
Oh, I just meant like if Pennacook Rescue has to shut down, do we have a contingency
Oh,
plan
well.
or a fallback?
let's not start thinking about
We did look into
it,
this a
yeah.
few years ago, and we talked to our mutual aid partners, and we do have the availability of mutual aid. I think on a short-term basis, we could use that, Concord, Loudon, Northfield, whatever. But on a long-term basis, we'd have to find an ambulance service or buy an ambulance and hire people, one or the other. So,
Which, geez, I can't imagine
which
that.
is
Expensive.
very costly.
But there's
Well,
no
costly if you can
inclination.
find somebody,
Well, that too.
first
Well,
off.
that's it.
But it doesn't look like Pennacook Rescue is gonna go anywhere anytime soon.
They haven't made any noises about that.
Okay.
Right.
Just don't wanna get caught like with health insurance where you go, hey, 18 months from now, you guys have ambulance coverage on 40% of your town, go figure it out.
Yep.
So that was the Merrimack County budget hearing, so I'm working on that. Municipal building lighting audit, I did talk about that. I have
They were great.
I have more of these at the town office, I didn't bring them, you're welcome to them, if you guys wanna see one of these, right? So basically, this company, can come in and do 100% smart lighting. Which it's a lot of new technology that I am very impressed with, because they use available sunlight from outside the building. So if the sun is shining in here, it would tell that light to dim.
Wow.
And so they did this complete audit. Basically, what they're looking at is the cost of the project would be $44,644. Unitil there's a estimated incentive of $11,780. Which brings it down to $32,864. The annual savings is $42.43 a year, $4,243 a year. Unitil would fund that through
The bills.
the bills, and we get to choose, it's like a payment plan. And we get to choose up to 120 months to pay off the cost of this. So at the end of the day, there's actually no tax impact to the town. And there's a cost, and after the loan, I guess if you wanna call it a loan, and after that is paid off, then it's all complete savings. And again, they're saying an annual savings of over $4,000 a year. So if we paid off that 32,000 in, I don't know, 3 years, if we said $10,000 a year approximately, then after that, we'd be saving $4,000 in utility bills.
Yep.
For that building.
So
Cool.
we asked them if they would go look at the transfer station for any particular reason, if it could help there. They are going to be talking to, Aaron Chubb at the elementary school,
No, they're
but,
not.
oh, they're not?
No,
Are they gonna talk to,
No, I talked to the.
Oh, okay.
I sent an email to the school district, and I was told that they did a audit and an energy improvement 3 or 4 years ago, and they are all set.
okay, so they're not talking to them. Which is too bad.
This company said they would go in and do this for free and, show them where they could save the money, and the school district said they're all set. So,
Okay, well, then they're going to do us and perhaps the transfer station.
delightful.
I'm gonna agitate for a traffic light at the, where you turn in to go into the transfer station. I miss it every time in the dark.
You got that corner.
Anyway, oh, that's too bad. Well, this was a great company, they're out of Dover, they're, they make everything right there.
And then moving on down to salt shed costs.
Let's see that.
I've got one, thanks.
Part of our walk, if you wanna keep that, Scott, you can, I
Okay.
guess, there's two more up at
I
the
will.
office, and Calvin, if
Because
you wanna
then I-
stop by, I'll give you one. Salt shed costs,
Yep,
let's see. I looked into some other towns. The town of Woodstock just, in 2023, built a 100 by 38, it's a fabric called Brightspan. It was $240,000.
Is that the stuff you showed me the other day, that thing that looks like a big,
Yes.
yeah,
Yep. The town of Raymond did one this year, 2025, it was 22 by 40. It's a Calhoun, and the one in Woodstock was a 3 or 4 bay, big, 100 feet long
Yep,
and
yep.
38 feet deep. Raymond is 22 by 40 deep, 1 bay. It was 67,200 with no site work. They did the site work themselves.
Yep.
Sandown did one in 2022. It was a 50 by 62, 1 bay. It was $118,000. The electrical was extra, and the site work and concrete was $20,000 over that. The current building we have up there is 60 feet long by 40 feet deep.
okay.
So those are salt sheds.
and anything, that we would be, even if it was a comparable size for a, spreader shed would be more, correct? Cause it has to be a more
Yes,
sturdy
it-
building with,
Yes, cause these are all
Yeah.
truss, these are steel trusses with a fabric roof.
yeah,
So the trusses, I'm sure you can get truss design to hang things from, but most trusses aren't designed that way.
right.
Most trusses are designed for a top load, not a
Compressive
bottom
load.
load.
Yep,
And I've contacted, one company about the spreader shed, and I haven't heard back.
it's encouraging. Cal, this packet was just for our information, do you need it back, I'm assuming? Yeah.
Yes, please.
And the blue tabs were just to make me look through it, to make sure there was nothing to sign.
Yes, these are from Sylvia, she doesn't know about the
The blue tab rule.
indicating signing thing, so.
Thank you, Sylvia.
Yeah, exactly. What else?
That's all I have on the agenda, that's all I have.
It's almost 8 o'clock, so
Yeah.
I'd say that's probably enough.
So, I guess my final question would be, just looking at the schedule, what do we think we might hear from the library on the 13th, and then what do we do with that on the 14th? Or do we need to,
So I think what we do with it depends on what we hear.
yeah,
I certainly think no matter what they say, we talk to the budget committee and bring them up to speed, but, you know, I think essentially what we heard tonight was, you know, we're gonna go to town meeting and make a motion from the floor to restore the money to the budget. I think that was you're gonna be embarrassed.
Yes. I'll be curious if they run the numbers a little bit more to see, what they think about why their, cost per hour is.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm just curious, but that
Yeah.
has nothing to do with that.
I-
So we'll take whatever they say and just bring it
Right.
into the budget committee on the 14th.
right, and I think for me, I think as a selectman, all we're responsible for is the amount we fund the library for, period. I think how they choose to pay their employees and, you know, take care of their expenses, that's what their trustees are for. I don't wanna get into the minutia of running a library.
Cal, is there a standard living wage? Everyone keeps talking about a living wage.
Yes,
Is there a
there's a-
definition of like, what is it in New Hampshire right now?
So if you, so Rachel sent this out in an email a while ago to the trustees that I think I was CC'd on it, and it's the MIT living wage calculator. I guess she got it from Justin, cause he was using that kind
Okay.
of stuff too.
Okay.
So it's the MIT living wage calculator, and you can get it down to the county level,
Yeah.
which
Okay,
is
Got it earmarked, I didn't have a chance after I talked to you to look at it, but
yeah, I've learned from sifting through census data that the county level is as good as you can get income wise,
right,
but it's still not very helpful for Canterbury specifically.
Right.
Like I've looked into that a lot for welfare
Yeah.
purposes.
yeah. But I think the idea of painting this as the select board is taking away raises for our employees is wrong.
I'm just curious, like a living wage, is it, you know, is it a living wage for Canterbury because we're so expensive, or is a living wage?
So that's one of the qualifiers for the survey, the comparison survey I do is a median household
Right.
median income.
Okay,
which is why we
It's the-
compare
it's
ourselves to the town we do, right?
Population, it's the operating budget and the median income.
okay.
Those are the three qualifiers that we use to try and compare ourselves to other municipalities.
Which is
know
why we
that-
compare ourselves, yes, to the towns that we do.
Correct. And I don't know if I read an article or heard on the news or something recently that in New Hampshire, if you don't earn $150,000 a year, you can't afford to live in a residential house, a single-family residential house. You have to have an income of $150,000 to own a house in the state of New Hampshire.
That's the paradox, right? You wanna raise taxes to make it more unaffordable to like, and I'm not,
No,
it's just, you're
that's-
trying to find the balance, that's the tricky part.
Right.
I talked to a guy the other day that got a job, took a job in the town of Woodstock as the fire chief. And can't find a place to live up there. There's nothing available. Not just nothing that's $500,000 or less, but nothing. And they want to live in town.
Yep.
Well, that's, at some point, I think we're still gonna have the conversation, if we want to have employees that can afford to work for us, we may have to do something about housing, the town doing housing, which, I know, Ken says, no, we don't wanna be landlords, but somehow there's gotta be a way to make it so we can.
I would not be in favor of that.
And I don't mean being a landlord, I don't know, there's gotta be, I just keep thinking there's gotta be something more outside of the box to make to have that be part of the incentive to be here. Somehow you can live here.
Give it
I don't know
15
what that
years,
is.
There'll be houses.
That's
I
true.
mean, you're gonna hit a
Yeah.
point
It's
where you're gonna
inevitable.
see the opposite, you're gonna
Right.
have tons of market availability and nobody
Maybe.
wanted to fill them. It's just a cycle.
But
It is.
You know?
15 years, I'm not going to be doing this, but it seems like
Your house will be available.
But at the moment, we've got such a need for bodies, and we need to have them live someplace,
But the
so.
tricky part, there's no young people.
Right.
I can't even find kids to work with me who are 20 years old. I'm only 37.
Ah.
Like it's one of those things where it's not just a Canterbury, it's not,
No,
it's
I-
not
We're
America,
not
it's
replacing
Canterbury.
ourselves,
I
Right.
know,
that's just a fact.
except if you went to the pancake breakfast the other day, there are a lot of beautiful children there.
Oh, yeah, but in general, in the
Yeah.
United States especially, our population is not growing fast enough to replace those that are dying.
Yes,
Yeah, we're like 1.7 kids per family and they need to get
Yeah.
up 2.6.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just tricky, cause like I said, I don't wanna feel like we're shortchanging anybody on
No.
cost. I don't wanna feel like
Right.
I'm not appropriately paying somebody, but we have to be cognizant of
Well,
how much is enough
and
for,
this came up several years ago when, at the town meeting that we had outside at the school.
oh yeah.
during
When
COVID.
when it came up about, are we paying the people at the transfer station?
I remember that
A
question.
living wage, I remember
Yep.
that.
Well, it wasn't even, they didn't even say a living wage,
No.
are we paying them $15 an hour?
Yeah.
They picked a number,
Mhm.
Yep.
and we said no, and they said, well, we need to. And I don't disagree with that, is saying, well, because the state of New Hampshire isn't gonna say, we're gonna raise the minimum wage. If you look at the area and say, well, what's it cost to live in this area, maybe not even in Canterbury, but
Yeah,
if you wanna live in an apartment in the city of Concord, you're gonna pay $2,500 a month with no utilities and everything else, then this is what you need to earn to make that, to live there.
yeah.
So that's what we need to pay our employees. At the minimum.
Right.
but if we're looking, I still find it hard to wrap my head around the numbers, that if you look at the towns that we're comparing ourselves with because of median income and size and operating budget and the whole 9 yards, that we seem to be in the middle of that pack, so I
feel
I don't
we're
know what
pretty
we
good
do
there.
about
We're-
that.
I think we're pretty good though in the town.
I agree, I think the town overall.
Yeah,
There are outliers, but the
Mhm.
town overall
Yeah.
is in the middle of that universe, so to speak. Again, there's outliers, that's,
and the town is, because of that, is healthy enough that we can do things like buy down the tax rate, so that people
Thank
like our
God,
library
yeah.
trustees are very happy that their tax rate went down.
Right.
So it's such a balancing act, but we'll see,
Yeah.
alright.
The retirement coming up at the transfer station. We've got that open, right? That position, I know we've been advertising for. What do we normally do for somebody retiring? Card, anything?
I think in this case, we'll do similar to what we did with Dave Nelson, a certificate of appreciation.
Yeah.
Um,
Do we have enough time to, when's his last day?
End of December,
Yeah.
Send the last pay cycle, yeah.
Yeah.
So probably
I'll
years.
do that.
Okay. Do you want me to, is there anything you want me to do? Get a
Um,
card, cake, anything?
sunscreen, he's going to Dominican Republic?
no,
No.
Mexico.
No, he's
Yeah.
going someplace first with his sister first.
Right, but he's gonna
to-
live in Mexico.
Yes, but first he's going on a big trip with
Cool.
his sister somewhere, but he needs sunscreen. Or maybe not. He's kind of bristly. And
So we're having the employee get together, holiday get together this Thursday.
Yep,
I can have something for him, if you guys wanna sign it, or come in and sign it that
oh
day.
yeah,
I can have it ready,
yeah,
I don't know if, he hasn't come to
it's in the
those.
last couple of years.
I'll see if I can encourage him to
Yeah.
show up,
Yeah,
if not, then we can do something.
I saw him, talk to him Saturday and about it. So will his last day then be the 27th, which is a Saturday, or will he be working like on Tuesday? Cause Wednesday is New Year's Eve.
No, I think it's the,
I asked him too, and I don't remember what he said now.
You can give it
I
to me.
have the paperwork up at the office, I can't remember what.
Alright, it's just a thought. Well, we
And so
still-
in the interim, are our new hires at the highway department going to be filling in as part of their job description? since Dave
He
came.
explained to both of them the scenario. And they both, at least told me, they have no problem helping out.
Okay.
It's not that hard, so, honestly.
Yeah, and I explained it's overtime and,
Right.
and, you know, and they were, both of them were
Okay.
okay with that, so.
Good,
Hopefully, at the, you know,
and we still have, if we need to, though, they've been less than, reliable as people ready if we get stuck, correct?
Yeah. Alright, anything else? Alright, it's after 8 o'clock. Alright, motion to adjourn.
A second.
All those in favor?
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Edgar.